Alright, we're live.
Yeah.
We're live! And welcome back to Legendary Action. We're so happy that you can join us. We had some minor technical difficulties as per usual. We should just expect that this will happen from now on. So why don't you guys give us like an extra 10 minutes of start time.
Let's just put our start time around 8.
Yeah, we'll just start starting at like 8 from now on. No, we're not doing that. But either way, we're a bunch of unapologetic nerds who just like playing Dungeons and Dragons. And we do it in various degrees of poorly to really good. And then there's a large space in between.
Wow, there must be a bell curve on this one.
Yeah, there really is. There
is.
It's like,
well, to be fair, if you look at other streams, that is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
There's one sharp jump to really good, and then everything else is moderate to bad.
It's like, this is amazing. If only everything else could be just like this moment.
Yeah,
just capture this moment and live in it forever.
But we're super passionate about just playing Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games all together. We have a variety of different things. Plus wargaming. We have a bunch of Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k players at the table. You know? And,
they're like talking about it in our Discord.
Yeah.
As
a matter of fact, we like talking about it all the time.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, we could probably do that. Discussion we had last night.
Yeah,
maybe hints of that.
Like, I mean, if you're not interested in actually playing D&D with us or watching it, we could just talk about Warhammer all night tonight. I don't know how many people would be into that.
I'll be out.
It's fine.
We'll take a bow.
We'll play some D&D. But yeah, so thank you for joining us here on episode 23. We are playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons in my homebrew world of Terrowyn.
Terrowyn.
In the Central Vale, the party is coming in on some bad stuff. We got some combat, some interesting things coming up tonight. So let's do this shit.
You can't spell Terrowyn without terror.
Yeah, without terror. Yeah,
or win.
Terror. Win.
I don't want to play D&D if we don't win.
Yeah, everybody's wants D&D. It's about winning. It's all about winning.
It's all about winning.
It's all about winning.
But the only problem is with the name Terrowyn, that means the terror is winning, and we're not.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Wow. Well, you know what we need to do? We need to get our group together with another group and form a D&D raid on Terrowyn, and then we'll just like go fight all the bosses. Endgame loop. That's how you do it.
I see what you're doing
20
here.
players,
It's an
and
MMO
4
now.
DMs,
Yeah.
and just go nuts. Every turn will take 3 hours. It'll be
Great. That sounds wild. I'm for it.
The whole plot is the bosses can't win just because of sheer action economy. Like, I don't get to move yet. It's like, yes, there's still 32 of us left.
I don't know. If we're going to go that size D&D, which would be a great idea for a con, by the way, is like 40 players working towards killing a mega boss.
Yeah.
I could come up with some really fucking terrible AoE spells and shit, dude. That would
I was
fucking
about to
devastate
say.
players.
Yeah.
I could come up with some cool mechanics. Like, I can imagine building this map, right, that's like basically like all it is over this lava fucking lake, and it's just like small pads of like, so you have to make DC checks just to move your character around the map.
From one pad to another.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically like Mordor. It's like you have to get from the outside to the inside.
What he's
and then
saying
you're in the lava
is
pits.
melee characters don't come.
So what I'm saying is,
Magma
melee
Drake
characters
in the
come,
lava,
but
good
hope
luck.
that your casters are going to fly you over there.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair.
Yeah, right? It's like, dude, it's called party rolls. We need a healer.
I'm like, yeah.
We need a tank. We need a caster. This is going straight MMO
Well,
status.
if you think about it, if you were fighting gods or something, like that's the way your fight should look. FYI, your fight should look like this if you're playing Rise of Tiamat and you fight Tiamat at the end. It should be epic enough where it's like, Tiamat uses her breath weapon and it's a DC fucking 18 or 20 to fucking get away from it, and you take fucking like 80 damage if you succeed. It's like,
Oh, and
I
there's
almost
Oh,
died.
yeah, and also 4 more
Yeah.
on the way.
Just so you know, all your DMs at home, if you just don't wipe your players right off the bat with Tiamat, you're doing something wrong.
no, I mean, it should be.
Level 1, Tiamat drops
Tiamat's
down
gotta be
on
this
the field.
epic battle, man. She's well, I mean, she used to be a
Might as well be a
a
god.
pure god, but she is a god. She's just,
Well,
she's a minor deity.
Yeah,
not
she's a
major
god in
deity
my heart.
anymore, you know?
in my heart.
Yeah,
So
in
she's
the hearts of everyone, Tiamat.
I would say
She's there.
she's
in the
really
hearts of
strong.
children,
She has 5 legendary legendary saves. She has
In the
5 of
heart-
them versus 3.
She's
so
God in the
she's
hearts
already
of
really strong.
kobolds everywhere.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is over a giant pit of fire and lava with shit falling in, your character should avoiding fucking like all kinds of damage from the environment should be the way you handle.
Spell reflection too.
This
I'm
battle's
pretty
gonna be so epic.
Yeah, no
There's way
spell-
you're making
no
it,
spell
but it'll
of-
be cool.
I think sixth
Six.
level can harm her.
Yeah.
6th level or lower. can
6 or
harm her.
lower is worthless.
Yeah,
Don't bring it.
yeah. Which means auxiliary wizards, clerics, and paladins is how we're gonna be handling.
Yeah,
it.
you half-casters, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
Can't get out.
Get out.
Yeah. Why are you here? You're trash. You're trash. Get out of here. All you're doing is just you're taking damage. That's all you're doing.
Let's do it.
Yeah, basically. But if you disagree with me, feel free to join us in our Discord or, get at me on Twitter and disagree with me there.
I would love for someone to come on and be like, I ran a game with like 30 people one time and just start lecturing about it. Listen, it sounds great, but in practice,
It's
trash."
awful. It's awful. One turn took 3 hours.
Dude,
we took all weekend and we only got through 3 turns.
Look, I love D&D, but a turn with 30 people would be awful. Let's be honest.
Oh, it depends.
No, it'd be great.
It depends.
I'd-
If half of them die in the first
I
turn.
don't know, man.
Yeah, that turn would get really low real fast if we're talking the kind of fucking damage and things that I'm
Yeah.
dealing
That's
with.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you fail the jump to get to the next pillar. You're just
Yeah, you
dead.
just landed in
Because
lava.
Because what you
Good luck.
do is you set up the battle, and you set it up with refs who act as individual DMs to adjudicate judgments on behalf. So you split them into smaller
in
teams
predetermined
and
skill
predetermined
checks.
checks, and you just organize it so that it's straightforward.
Yeah, there's no rule cool. There's no like giving the players a break. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're dead.
Yeah,
It's like, thanks for coming. Here's your gift bag.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you organize everybody into smaller groups so that way they can go at a turn and everybody is working towards defeating this.
Yeah, we probably have to do a timer thing. Like
Yeah.
every group gets 3 minutes for one round, or 4
Yeah.
minutes for one
Yeah,
round.
you just have the
Yeah, what-
chess clocks.
We're gonna throw this in one of our discussion videos.
Yeah,
Oh
we are.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This could be a big
Large
one.
format play.
Yeah.
Large format.
Yeah, it's like
for sure.
talk about a niche audience. You know, the two of you out there on the internet who want to do and put something like this together. This is how we can do it.
But you know what? We're all about you two people. That's the
That's it.
point.
We
is
love
we're
you.
gonna provide that content for you because we love you. No, that's all right.
But
I
other
don't know.
content like Beyond the Stat Block, we are hard at work at developing right now.
Sort of.
Sort of.
And it's when some of us have long weeks at work and they're just not into it at all. And then I know that we've been slacking on the variety stream. Again, it's just work gets in the way, and I have just been super fucking slammed with D&D prep for like the last 2 weeks, and then we had even more time with the technical issues, and it was like we're just not going to bother until we try to figure out what the fuck is going on.
It's like,
But-
if nothing's working, there's no point. It's like,
Yeah.
we need a variety stream. Nothing's going to work.
Mhm.
It's like, no one's interested in watching a black screen. That's a fact.
But
That's
did
just
that thing
science.
did that work?
What?
Yes, it worked. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to fake it till I make it.
I
It totally
don't
works.
see our most
Roll deception. Go.
recent subscriber.
You have
Yeah, those-
disadvantage.
Get your eyes checked.
You're-
It works. Yeah, Mike's going to go verify it works right now. It's just a small screen that's playing tricks on you.
Because our recent follower shouldn't be Cheryl and Joy, should it?
No, it really shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
Right.
No, it shouldn't.
Mm.
It shouldn't.
not
Wasn't
the
our,
reason.
wasn't our most recent follower fucking Wolfenstein last week?
Yeah.
Ex-Wolfenstein?
No, Stony Geek.
Stony Geek? Okay.
Thank you, Stony Geek, for the follow.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
it
I
is.
was getting at. I was like, wait, we just had a subscriber and we just had a follower, so I want to give them shout-outs, but it's not showing up there. So I want now let's make sure that's working.
Yeah.
It's seed
Well,
other.
if we had a
Design
sponsor
order.
right now, would be a great time to try and plug them, but be totally
So
fake.
instead, we'll just plug the fact that
we're doing a giveaway.
we're doing a giveaway at 500 followers. So, help us get to that 500 follower mark. The faster you get it, the faster you get yourself entered into some goodies. You're going to get the limited edition core rulebooks from Wizards of the Coast 2. They will stop producing. They've already produced a finite amount. So once they're sold out, they're gone. You won't be able to get them anymore unless somebody sells them on eBay or something.
Super cool.
I don't want to hear that shit here, though. Okay. And then we're probably gonna throw in some dice and some minis or something as well to go along, just to add on top of it. So
we were thinking about the starter set, like a little starter set, like there's classic trope characters, just a set of them for you guys.
Yeah.
So
like
good.
a barbarian, a wizard, a paladin, a cleric, some interesting stuff. So yeah.
Now say hi to the dog.
Say hi. Thank you, Nick.
So, yeah, spread that around. Hit us up on Twitter. Follow us. Get us in our Discord to keep up to date with information regarding the stream and any extracurriculars that we're doing outside of the stream. And just keep up with the cast and all the shenanigans we have to. Instagram as well. Yeah, if you want to see some behind-the-scenes photos. I took some pictures this week of my crafting to put into the terrain craft as I was building the battle boards for this week's combats.
That is an excellent question. Can anyone in the world participate in the giveaway? Unfortunately, there's a bunch of laws, especially with other countries. So unfortunately, this giveaway is going to be limited to the United States and parts of Canada excluding Quebec, because Quebec, you did it to yourselves. It's your laws.
Yeah, it's your laws. I don't know what to tell you, Canada. It's your fault.
But unfortunately, there's a bunch of weird laws. And as much as we would love to give you stuff, no matter where you live, there's, the law.
Yeah.
We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
The cold hard truth is we're afraid.
Yeah. We're afraid of legal repercussions.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Whatever, you bunch of squares.
That Andy guy, he needs to be extradited because he sent some bucks to a winner and didn't give their government money.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the appropriate
that would
amount
be
of money.
wild.
Or bribe.
we just come back onto the stream and Andy's not there. We're just like, sorry guys, he got arrested by some guy from like Beijing. It was wild. we were getting ready. Yeah, we were just sitting here getting ready for the stream, and next thing you know,
I can't believe the American
Chinese
government
army
was just
came
like,
into the room.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Look, we may be heroes in the game, but in real life, we ain't gonna mess around with that. If somebody comes with a gun and says we're taking Andy, we're gonna be like, bye.
Yeah, bye.
It was nice to see you, Andy.
So
we'll pick it up later.
Who's our subscriber? Zy Otter, thank you so much for the follow and the and for the subscription. And Stony Geek, thank you so much for the follow. So be sure to follow us, check us out, get into our Discord. Links are all below. You can at me at Twitter at DMGreenofLA.
You're broken.
Alex the Mom.
Manda Panda Chew.
The Meta Mike,
who
is a variety streamer who I stream every day, but Thursdays and Tuesdays, mainly because Wednesdays are my long days, and Thursdays you may see me pop on once or twice to do a variety stream with my dear friends over at Legendary Action. Other than that, I play a variety of games, depending on which ones. I'm currently in an FPS mood at the moment, with every now and then you might catch me hopping on Guild Wars 2 or even an arena shooter 2.
You're blessed.
There's some new games coming out too that have got me excited, so you may see me on some single player games. So just keep an eye out and you'll see me stream.
And then on the
not. That's fine too.
Or not. But
watch the bard.
He's a bard. He spins webs with his words.
Yeah.
But he can be very entertaining.
I do apologize if you cannot fathom the necessities of my voice. You're slow-minded individual.
Using your big words.
He used to hit himself for tips until Twitch said that's not okay anymore.
That's a lie
I just wish
that you can't ever find unless you join my Discord.
I wish we had candid cameras around the studio so they get to see when you walk into walls.
Or cut my finger open while setting up.
Yeah,
that too.
Like that. But also, you can join us in the Discord, link below. And I'm also getting into 3D printing. You cannot see this, but you will.
Yeah.
But you will.
Yeah, you will.
But,
also,
I'm exploring the wonders of what 3D printing can do for you in your tabletop.
Which is, it can, for a minimal investment, save you a shit ton of fucking money is what it can do.
Depending on settings and what you're willing to put up with and how much work you're willing to put into
it.
It's kind of a trade-off.
No, it can save you a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Okay, if you play Warhammer 40,000 and instead of spending $7 on the Aquila's sector terrain, you can just print it for fucking 20 cents. you're saving a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and also if you buy like fancy buildings off the internet for like $95,
yeah,
or whatever off Etsy, there are some of those models you can buy yourself for like $15,
or just download them for free.
Or just some of them are available for free legally. They are available for free.
Yes.
And then you can print them for just the amount of plastic. And with certain printing technologies, the plastic's pretty cheap. It just takes some work. Dialing
all it takes is dialing in some settings, doing some self-help video, some work videos and how-tos.
Yeah.
And you got it. But right now, I would say that if you are a serious RPG, terrain player, Warhammer player, in the very near future, a 3D printer is a must-have item for crafting.
I predict
must-have.
that one day a 3D printer will be like an oven. Everyone will just have one.
Yeah, every house will have one. Yeah, I guarantee it.
Probably.
Dude, you can even do things like home improvement things and fucking print parts that you can't buy elsewhere and stuff. Like, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's true. And there are parts that you don't even realize you would want to print it. And then you see it up on Thingiverse or one of these other sites and you're like, I can do that? That's dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll be posting that in the Discord. Anyone who's like interested, I would love to share the creations that I print.
Yeah, I see you flip for follows. I know I have not been playing Guild Wars 2 or on Twitch that much. I have just seriously been doing so much game prep and stuff over the last few weeks.
I flip for follows.
Yeah.
I wish I could flip for follows.
You can! You can definitely print something that can TPK up. Whether it appears on the battlefield or not is entirely up to him.
Yeah.
Can I print
God
TPK?
wills it, and that's how it works.
Yeah. God wills it. What is this, the kingdom? Yeah.
God wills it, so it shall be done.
Hey, Gavin, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Gavin!
Thanks for joining us.
Gavin!
Glad you're here.
Also, if any of us are
and
very
then
loud,
our close personal friend Marcus is here as well. He's hanging out and watching and kind of
Say hi to
checking
Puppy.
in. Jump on camera real quick and say hi.
He's with us emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's here.
I know you're short, you gotta be short.
And yeah, so I think that's it for announcements. Just if you like what you see or you've been enjoying, don't forget you can catch up.
Who's watching at 4 in the morning?
NRG, who
That's
also
fantastic.
says when we told him we couldn't ship around the world, he said now he sobs with a +3 in charisma.
Yeah. Don't forget that all of our past
That's a
episodes are on our
convincing
YouTube
song.
channel. So don't forget to go check
Where's he
that out,
from?
subscribe, and catch up
Where's he
if you're
from?
new to the channel. And
Alright.
thank you guys
Four.
for being a super awesome chat. It
That's
doesn't
Australia,
get said
I got
enough,
you.
and people don't reward their chat enough. But thank you for being welcoming and awesome and informative with new people who jump in and check out the game and come hang out.
And the rules are people who don't know about
Oh,
D&D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it a welcoming place for new people to jump in and say hi and check it out. It's
Even if
important.
they tune in late and they don't know what's happening, you guys are super great about being like, oh yeah, super badass stuff. And you explain it, and they're like, well, what's that?
Oh,
And you
yeah.
explain it again. You guys are just fantastic.
Yeah, you
As
guys
someone
it's
who
a great
regularly
community.
spends a horrendous amount of time on Twitch and sees the type of people that interact, you guys
The trolls.
are great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
like
deal with them
trolls.
every day of my life. They are what give me warmth in my undying soul. And seeing you guys just constantly nice and always cheerful and always helping is it's a wonderful thing, and we really appreciate it.
We really
We do.
But that being said, I think we're ready to jump into another episode
Yes.
of Legendary Action.
Yes.
Yeah. It's more interesting than the desert.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
with
now
that
I'm
being
responding
said,
to
we're
it.
going to run the quick intro to the show, and then we'll be back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds.
1 minute and 40 seconds.
It'll just be behind.
And
the
we're
scenes
back.
thing.
We are
And
back.
if you're wondering why the ginger is slamming his head, it's because we ran the wrong intro, and the guest character's nameplate was over the intro.
Don't forget the guest.
I am not a professional.
And this is like the 7th or 8th episode that this has happened in now at this point. And we I don't know if I emphasized this enough as the beginning, but we are amateurs and very normal people.
Definitely not special.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Always
on the
special.
bright side, behind the scenes, we have one that actually says like Twitch, and that we're affiliated with them, and
Yeah.
we're not on Mixer anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm about to go run that intro again.
I made this
You
cool
do it.
little shadow for him, and
Me.
like characters. Like,
Wait, you know what? Yeah. Go set that up. We're gonna run the right intro this time because you know what?
You deserve it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
deserves
you deserve
it. He's
it.
been here for like,
I'm
2
not a
weeks
cat
now. 3 weeks.
anymore.
This is his 3rd week here.
It's okay.
He doesn't.
It's all right.
Stop it. I
I mean,
can deal with it.
To be fair, Siggy Spear is not the guy to look for the attention, anyways.
Yeah, and to be
Yeah,
fair, it's
I got
not like you have
singles.
anything else to do while you're not here.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
It's so modest. Now we
See-
gotta play.
yeah, Singing Spear isn't looking for
Don't
attention.
let him fool you.
Like,
Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, that just sounds like the name of someone looking for attention.
Yes, we are playing 5th edition.
Yeah.
That's what we will. That's the rule system that we're using. I try to go as straight as I can. Rules as written and rules as interpreted if I have to. There are very few kind of homebrewy-ish rulings on certain things, but that's about it.
No,
Yeah,
Ready?
That's correct. No
we use the
clerics
rules
because we live
cool.
dangerous.
We live dangerous.
Danger's our middle name.
Dangerous.
So we ready?
Let's roll the intro.
We're gonna roll the intro again. Maybe.
All the nameplates
We'll
this
be
time.
back in a minute.
I really want to
We're
share it with
working
you because
responsible.
Alex puts in a lot of work into these things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, what's the point if nobody's ever gonna get to see them?
See, that's it right there.
So is it already running?
Is it
Click
right?
it.
It's already clicked on.
It's probably saved at the end of the clip because it's only meant to play once.
Well, I just start.
Just load it up, play it yourself. Just do it yourself. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it
Real
live.
live.
dangerous.
Oh, do it now.
Yeah, I agree. The clarity is very, very powerful. And it's probably the most balanced thing that they've put in the game because you can just play it up and away. You can order it. You can hear it all the time.
That's why it says Twitch.
Your character was really dark, though. Did that happen on accident?
Dark.
I don't know.
See? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Just so
Let me
everyone
do
is
anything.
aware, I am not luminous tier anymore.
Damn it! It was so close, and I
I-
did something wrong.
Aren't you? We're all muted.
Huh?
Are we muted?
It says Mike's live. I don't think we're muted.
The-
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we're not muted.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
the
we were
subscriber
muted.
button
Yeah.
that tells you who recently subscribed. That was the whole intro.
Good.
You know what?
The otter
You know what? Our subscribers deserve it.
Yeah.
Our subscribers
We're gonna leave some
They
up,
just-
leave our
They,
support.
yeah, they deserve it because look what they're fucking tolerating.
Yeah, it's like real-
Not only are you a ginger, but you're a ginger and you're terrible with tech. Like, what are they supporting? Don't watch this man's variety stream, okay? I
Just
want
saying.
to subject you are enough to this already. You don't gotta go watch
Just
it.
saying, we have
you know.
two professional IT guys, and I'm
Well,
doing it.
Now hold on.
Really, what you should just
I work
do
in a
is
hospital.
choose which you want to watch during the week. You gotta, There's just a limit. There's a
And you're
little
being
thing
very
to
loose
tolerate.
with the term professional. I'm
That's
throwing that
also
around.
true.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's my boss. He'll tell you how incompetent I am. You don't want me over there.
Yeah. I
See,
can't,
I
I
just feel
can't
like
use
you're
words like that
diverting.
on stream.
I imagine we're closer to The Office than we are anything else.
Yeah.
So, professional, we're using that very lightly and liberally at the moment.
Yes.
But, back into the game.
Alright.
When we last left off,
Oh yeah, what happened?
you had finally fulfilled your deal and your obligations to Veracruz and agreed that you would rather be partners versus be dead and constantly live with the danger of having a mark on your head, a bounty the whole time. And you agreed to get him proof and slay the monster that was responsible for killing all of his men down in the ruins of Old Warren. Now, as a part of that, you had to go to the Trollclaw Mines to fulfill your paid obligation because she paid you.
Yeah.
To
Paid
go find
obligation.
the puffball mushroom so that Lynn could make her far more effective antidote for skin rot. Upon reaching Fogbottom, the town where you were meeting her contact, the herbalist Dimple, you found that the entire town was abandoned and empty, and it looked like there had been struggle, but not signs of combat.
Struggle.
But then an old friend, or acquaintance, I should say, in Malphny Hammerstriker the dwarf, led you into the Cunning Fox Alehouse, down to the basement where the ragtag survivors of the undead raids on the surrounding hamlets and villages have hidden, and have been hidden for weeks.
All right.
And that's where we begin, in this basement.
Bodies.
Oh yeah.
Oh. You have everyone's attention right now, Mike.
Yeah, it's all you.
So,
I don't know, you spoke first. Keep going.
how do you get my legs? Blah, blah, blah. No.
Is that what Elvin
He's
said?
gone insane.
I don't think that's Elvish.
No. So we know where this blight tree might be, and we have someone to take us there. And we know that's where things may be. Let's be real here. This is what the fucking hag is. So, when do we want to go?
Right now.
I'm just saying, we just arm up and we go.
Well, is the priority the hag? What about the weird mushroom things we're supposed to find?
Puffball mushrooms. Oh,
They're in troll.
and we have to do that
caves.
first, don't we?
Yeah.
Both need doing.
Both need doing, and it will help these people get out of here if we help them get the cure.
Yeah, because if we give them the cure, they can take it back, and even if we don't make it, at least someone gets something out of this mess.
If we're gonna help these people, we gotta take care of the undead that's upstairs.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Well, they're kind of locked in rooms. They can't even use doors. Is it really a problem?
I look at Melfney. Melfney, I have a question.
Yes.
What do you've made it here this far, and you've made it pretty full. What do you think we should do? Do you think we should worry about what's upstairs?
No, I don't believe it's really necessary. At least not for the moment. These people can deal with their loved ones and put them in the rest on their own time. At the moment, we just need to make sure that they're safe and the skin rot doesn't spread any further. So making sure that they can be cured if any of these people become ill should be the frontmost objective.
I disagree. I think we should cut the source, then find the cure. The hag needs to die. Doesn't do us any good to get a finite amount of cure when she can just create more sick.
Unless we all die while we're out there and these people are left to suffer forever.
If we die fighting the hag, she makes the sickness until they run out of cure.
Well, Rankin, you know as well as the rest of us, as the bounty contract worker, you got paid for a job, and that job's mushrooms.
Yeah, and the job is
goes, yes, we need to find my friend.
The job's to cure the rot.
No, the job was to find the puffball mushrooms. That's what she paid you for.
Okay, to cure the rot.
I'm just saying we could work up to it, like maybe stay away from the magical evil lady hag woman that lives in the woods. At least for now, get the cure going back.
I think getting the cure first is important, because giving these people a way out now gives us hopefully a distraction, because most of the forces will probably follow them out, and that will hope, and then we can move in, especially the gentlemen who are going to have.
How many people are in the basement?
Just taking account, it's just slightly over a dozen, maybe 14. Yeah, women, children of varying ages. There's at least 7 that look like they're fairly elderly, maybe in their late 50s to early 60s or so.
Now, also, before we start fighting, I think especially to those of you who are new to this territory, you should get a better lay of the land before you start trying to combating it. What happens if you're not as well adjusted, and then we have to make a run for it?
All I'm saying is you're putting a bandage over one of several wounds. It's just going to keep bleeding.
Yeah, for now.
Malphite speaks up. But are you really truly willing to sacrifice these people's lives?
Yeah.
First.
No.
You know, this is what I'm going to put down.
That's wrong. These people have done nothing to deserve being in your way and a stepping stone towards accomplishing your goals.
I'm not stepping on them. I'm avoiding them.
Yes, that's the same difference.
Listen, in the long run, a dozen fishermen and old people don't help us.
But either way, if we
So
go and
Malphite,
get...
she's like swears. She's like, by Helgrit's fucking hammer, do humans have? This is why your civilization's corrupt and ruined and rotting. You have no loyalty to one another.
I
This
agree
is
with
a
her.
problem.
Well, we get it done, though.
No, you don't. What you do is you cause the downfall and the first liches because you can't think about the rest of the world and the things that you step on to get where you are.
Either way, long term,
I'm
they're
just
not
saying-
soldiers.
No, they're not. They're not soldiers, but you know what they are? If they die, horrible monsters that are really hard to fight. We've seen plenty of ghouls on the way up here, and they're
I'll
pretty
follow
fucking
all of
mean.
you, but if we're going to get a cure for a sickness that a hag is just going to continue to make, eventually the cure runs out and we've done nothing.
I'm not saying that we just leave the hag alone after getting the cure. What I'm saying is we make sure these people have a fighting chance and the ability to possibly escape. Then we all go together and take care of Gorenda.
Listen, Mike, I'm not really a bleeding heart for people or anything like that. But yeah, we do have the contract, and then on top of that, so say it keeps bleeding. Sounds like job security.
Are we no better?
Let's not forget that my brother is still out here somewhere.
Was
If
he
I'm
searching
willing to-
for the hag? I mean,
Yes,
I'd
he
be
was.
willing to find her. That's
Yes.
where you find him.
Yes, and I'm willing to bet his survival against the lives of all these people who are innocents. Myself and my brother took on our quest to kill Gorenda ourselves. It's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
Aside from that, you speak of abandoning the healing to eliminate the source. If we abandon the healing, is not the healer out there? Shouldn't we retrieve him? If there's a
Probably.
semblance of a chance that he's alive?
Well, also,
No.
Because eliminating the source...
He's the alchemist, but
No. Wait. Lynn. One
She
moment.
comes from a dark corner.
She steps out of the shadows.
while all these foolish men are arguing,
Yeah.
and lady,
What's going on?
Lynn,
Yes.
why exactly do you need those puffball mushrooms?
Be-
I know that we need to find your friend.
The
If we
party
can't-
Because
All of you would just wait. All of you actually just wait a moment. Out of character. I'm getting somewhere with this. And then Lynn, what makes them so special? They're not part of a normal antidote.
it's because the roots of the puffball mushroom, there's something special, something unique about them that will not just prolong the skin rot, but it will actually completely cure it. I've done some testings, I've done it with Dimble, and I believe that this can work. But I just need,
She's barking at the dogs outside.
So what you're saying is that you and Thimble found a cure, not something to help.
yes, an actual cure. So if we find the puffball mushrooms,
Correction, you found a more effective cure. A cure already exists.
yeah, a more effective cure.
It was developed in Bravada South after the skin rot outbreak in Cornwall.
So instead of putting a bandage on the wound, Riken, we're fixing the wound.
no, we're not. We've already found out that the hag creates the sickness. The cure
And
would
if you
be
cure the
finite.
sickness,
Is that true? Is that true? Is she responsible for curing it?
what we were told.
were we told that?
That's what we were told.
and she played a role.
She played a role in it. I believe it had something to do with the blight tree. That's why we're going to it.
Okay, well, whatever.
The blight tree in the tower, and she's working with
Then,
them.
and they talked about the spreading of the disease. We made the assumption that she's behind it.
And also,
pretty safe assumption.
Excuse me. So say we go.
What you guys know is that she possibly started it and spread the curse, but that it's already out there. It's already going. That's what you know for a fact. Killing her doesn't necessarily mean that skin rot goes away. That's what you guys don't know. I think the base assumption is that she's standing there chanting some spell that's spreading skin rot, and that's not how it works.
Just see it as this way. If you were to, let's say, hit, like let's say, like I'm Luthlock, and I'm always going around and punching people and they get hurt. Like if we put Luthlock to sleep, but the people are still injured.
Less people are injured because he's asleep.
Less people are injured, but he's asleep. But we still need to bandage them up and heal them up. Like that's what.
Thank you for reinforcing the fact that we kill the source.
Like
then
it'll help.
No, guys, stop. Literally, this boils down to one thing. People are dying here. They're dying out there. They're dying everywhere. The goddamn hag will be there no matter what. If we go get that puffball right now, create a cure for her, give them a fighting chance, get the cure out of here, everyone's healing, then we go fight the goddamn hag.
And mouth needs to. I have to agree. If at the very minimum we have to at least get the antidote started and get it in the works and get it in the hands of a capable herbalist who can take this to the greater Central Vale. If we all fail, then it's nothing but bad. We have nothing to lose by taking care of rescuing your friend Dimble and and developing the cure first. We have everything to lose if Grenda kills us all and the cure never leaves the Myers.
Our lives are more important making the cure than they are trying to stop the hag.
Whisperer, do you need Dimble?
It would be essential if I have him, but if I'm able to locate it, that's why I have you guys as well, because it's deep in the Trollcall Myers. There's gonna be danger.
Well, you already know the only place they grow is in troll dens.
Troll dens. Yeah. Like they're right by trolls' dens. Like, if I'm able to get it, I'm pretty sure if I spent some time I could do it. It's just I know getting Dimble would have been more essential. But if push comes to shove, if Dimble's missing, but I'm assuming he might be within the Trollcall Myers, deeper in the Trollcall Myers, then maybe we might be able to meet up with them. But if push comes to shove, I can definitely do it on my own.
So we need to go find a troll and find its cave.
Yeah.
Sounds easy.
Or better yet, find an abandoned troll cave with no troll.
Well, maybe
just mushroom.
I bet.
You are so wise for such a simple beast.
Yeah. Small. Survival takes like effective maneuvering.
Oh, it's true what you say then. Orcs do survive.
Yeah, we do. Kill the troll too.
Either way, I can stay here and make sure these people are safe, and we can stay in hiding, and I can make sure that when you have a safe place to come back to, at whichever direction you choose. But I'm not willing to just let these people die.
So here's a good question, considering we got a bunch of the natives here. As I turn to the room.
Yeah, the room has been very quiet. These people are basically just sitting here watching you debate how worthless or useful they are to you right now.
Well, if we're gonna find these mushrooms and save everyone's lives, we should probably ask the people that live around here where to start. Like, I hear over yonder by the old tree, those Foggy Bottom boys saw that troll over there one time.
So Nicholas is still standing. He's been watching you guys paint patiently, and Dimble would usually he would go out west from here, maybe northwest. There's a small trapper path that most people would use, and it leads to some fairly fresh water and a large alligator population for the most part for trapping and hunting. But if you go beyond the safety of those boundaries, then that's normally where you can find the trolls.
So then we have a pretty good.
Trolls' paths they're not hard to follow. Most people can recognize their signs when living in the mires and avoid them at the most part. Cracked trees, pushed over, large in footprints. They're not very wise creatures, so they don't hide their movements.
Mm. Yeah, I see a cracked tree. Sometimes I just think, oh, it's a swamp. Boy's got a point. So, sounds like we have a plan of attack and a direction to go in.
Agreed.
Anything else before we leave? Maybe
You're still standing next to Valis, so he's listening patiently as well. That was your position when the last episode ended.
Well,
And now Ferris.
So we'll get back to that in a second after you guys kind of decided what course of action you want to take.
How far is Alferis away from us?
The basement's only like 20 feet wide, 20 by 20 or so. It's and even then most of that is occupied by goods that were stored for the ale house above. So he's only like 10 feet away from you, 5 feet.
Alferis, I know you've heard this.
What? No, I got you.
I know you've heard all of this talk and all this debate, but again, you are the leader of Exodus. So what say you?
Number one, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to clear out the immediate threat. Number two, we're going to find these mushrooms. We're going to find Gimbal.
Okay.
Number three, we're going to bring the cure back. We're going to leave it with the villagers, and the villagers they should probably get out the cure. Because after that, we're going to go find that hag, or we're going to find that tree. But if we don't make it back, at least somebody's got the cure.
Sounds good to me.
I agree.
Our employer on board with this.
Hey, I'm good. These people need assistance, and we need to find them.
I'm ready to go when you are. Not much. No sense waiting around in here.
Are you ready as well, Alferis? I know you had personal matters with the gentleman over there.
Yeah, and
Valis is just kind of he's still watching the door and kind of listening, but he's been gently kind of turning every once in a while to listen and carefully to what everyone's being said, because you all kind of in still hushed tones and such to a degree. We're all stage whispering, everybody.
Yes.
He's well, Oxtrath, it sounds like you have your hands full, so my assumption is that Eldrix is wounded and in hiding, so he's not getting out of this swamp anytime soon. I know exactly where he is. So you handle all of this, and you come back, and then we'll go take care of this traitor to the Republic.
it'd be my house's honor to take care of this.
Yes.
Turn back.
He will. You have to be warned, though, is that he will try to convince you that he's on the right side of things. So just remember that your loyalty to the Republic and the Emperor comes first, before what he has to say.
I'll shield my mind to his heretic lies.
It's good to hear. Either way, we'll wait here on our lower positions in the basement for your return, and if you don't, then I'll just have to take care of him myself, and we'll assume that you're dead or missing.
Enough words. Coming from a rough dragonborn. I go back to my group.
Well then, we have our heading and what we need to do. Are we ready to venture out?
Should we take a? Did we take a rest?
Yep.
Go.
Didn't really need one.
not really.
I'm not really feeling tired.
I mean, it is pushing closer. You guys got to the edge of town in like the late evening, so it is pushing night. So you could rest here. It's not like it's necessary, but
We could.
other than you'd be pushing exhaustion. But
We could kill everything upstairs and come back for a nice little nap.
If we do that, we need to be real quiet. Because the activity upstairs could draw attention from
I think
elsewhere.
it might be wise to let them sit and have the people down here, if they get out of hand, just for the sole fact that what we do upstairs may draw more attention than help.
I will not allow the undead filth upstairs to taint this building anymore.
And I'm just saying that if we do this and more come because we make a fucking racket, it's not helping.
And we do it quiet.
Maybe we come with a strategy to do it quietly. Maybe there's some sheets around here. We open the door, hold up a sheet, and when the unliving thing tries to get out, it gets wrapped up, and then we just take care of it while it's restrained.
I'm more worried about it making noise and alerting others.
Sheets and pillows. Something like that. Make it real quiet. I don't know.
I do not believe. I don't believe that you're proficient in what we would call stealth, Luthor. Maybe others in the group that are more skilled in the ways of silent killing could be involved in this.
Yeah, I look back on my training. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not proficient. Stealth. It says so right here. Not proficient.
Mm. Yes.
Hashtag D&D Beyond.
So then, let us go attempt to quietly kill the ghouls upstairs.
Yeah, as long as we don't do anything or cast any spells that would throw sound out more than 300 feet, we got this.
Maybe.
And I won't scream as I go on the lab.
Again, I'm not worried about us. I'm worried about them.
Alfarius, are you skilled in the ways of silent killing?
I am.
You are? Okay. Let's just. I've been killing things for nearly 100 years, and I can do this quietly.
That sounds counter, like, what is it? I don't know what that word is. Counter something. Your name is Singing Spear.
Yes, the blade makes noise.
Oh.
Does the fist?
The fist does not.
Could you take care of them all quietly?
Quite enough.
I'll be honest.
If we use the brute, I'm sure he could manage to restrain a creature and keep it from crashing around. Provided, and I go up to Bluthop and I squeeze his muscles, provided those things work well.
That's what they do.
They're good at lifting heavy things.
Except the bully, in which case he needs the elf's help.
So what are you guys doing?
I gotta go upstairs and attempt to quietly kill some ghouls.
Zombies.
Or zombies or whatever.
Undead.
What does?
Not so dead things?
I guess we're going to find out what they really
it's
are.
Zombies.
It's zombies.
They're
Okay.
zombies. They said so. They said they died and came back to life.
Well, these are commoners.
Ghouls-
They may not know
ghouls-
the difference.
Ghouls are created through a different method.
All right.
Purposely.
Oh. Medicaid.
Oh, all right. Okay, cool.
Oh, this is lore that you would
Yeah.
have. You guys
Oh,
would
yeah.
This is lore that you would have.
Mm.
The undead empire, the ghoul empire in the Underdark that fights with everybody is aware of them. The curse that was placed on them by Orcus is what creates ghouls. And they alone have the technique and mastery necessary to create them and pass that knowledge on to others.
So it's almost like vampires.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
So you could, because the Formless One stole the power of undeath from Orcus, the Demon Lord, and kept it for himself, you could get the knowledge from the Formless One, or from Orcus, or from the undead. But it's going to come, most often it's going to come from the Ghoul Empire in the Underdark.
Right.
So you guys would know that that's where ghouls mainly is where they come from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you sure that we need to do this, Alfarius?
Yes.
Is it some requirement of your god?
As a paladin of iron, I won't stand for this. And if more of them do hear us and they come, they'll meet a far different force than what took this village. And we will repel them.
That just may not be good for what we're trying to do.
I admire your zeal, but I find it misplaced. I will do this for you, but only because it is something that your oath requires.
Thank you.
Alright, so who's dispatching the zombies? All three of you?
Yeah. Maybe the dude that's
Keep
not
the-
wearing.
I actually look. I look at Alferis and go, Alferis.
Maybe keep the casting down.
Or maybe
you and me
take
are
off
both-
your armor so
you and me
can
are
move
both in
quietly.
full plate, or basically in almost full plate. The ones wearing this heavy armor may not be worth going to go do it.
I walked into this town under the protection of my armor and my faith in my God, and I will go upstairs and I will dispatch this threat.
Alright, he's made up his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to
And
me.
there you go. Go off and do as you wish.
But Phelan, I do want you to watch my back.
I don't know. Were you only watching my back when I had my problems, or were you busy making jokes?
I kind of
did.
want to stab you right now.
Then fucking do it.
No, Phelan's got a point.
I don't know if I have a family or someone who wants to stab me.
Let's go upstairs and kill some stuff. Looks like it's getting
Or are
done.
you going to
whether
stab
like
me when
it or
I'm
not.
up there?
Maybe.
I don't know whether I can believe you, trust you, or want my help.
I don't
Just tell me the truth.
What truth? What do you
Do
want?
you want to fucking stab me or not?
All the time. But I want to stab everyone all the time.
Lose off.
No.
Shall we?
Yeah.
You
If you
start
want to
going
go, I
upstairs.
will follow you.
Hold
I can
on.
relate.
Hold on, I do want to apologize to a Phelan. I did crack jokes at your problems, and it was serious. That girl's death, the werewolves,
There's more to
everything
it.
you've been through. And when that crowd showed up and started accusing you of the crime, I didn't come to your defense. I apologize for that.
It's more than that. Unfortunately, my past came knocking, and it caught me unawares. It made me hesitate, and even now, when I told you guys what was coming, there's little things that changed. I didn't remember exactly what the beast said. All I know for sure is that he has tracked me for years, and he has found me. And he will wait patiently and try to get me at the best time. So it would be wise that at the next convenience we prep to fight those beasts.
Yeah, and you know how to do that, right?
I do. I spent a good portion of my life making sure I knew how to defend myself against them as best as possible.
Well, let's add it to the list, and when we get back, it's next on my list of trophies. I pull out a little scroll, and there's like scratchings on it, and it says at the very top, "Trophies wanted." Yeah, it's werewolf.
I must say that is a fabulous to-do list.
Yeah, it is.
But-
Some might call it a kill list.
Yeah, it's a good list, but it's not like personal. It's just things that are strong that need to die.
But I also wanted to apologize to all of you as well, because I acted harshly as well. But unfortunately, when the thing of your nightmares comes knocking in your face, you tend to have a slight panic attack.
Your fears are your own, Thalen. You prove yourself not enough in your reactions of such things. Such is your lineage.
Sometimes I choose to be both, because both is better than either.
You're mistaken, but you are entitled to that opinion.
I think this is one thing we will disagree on, but we at least will be friends about it.
So who's going upstairs?
Oh, Epsis. Oh, an Epsis.
So
I am not lifting
there's
you up.
there's 4 rooms and there's a zombie in each of the rooms. So dex checks.
Oh, yeah. Do you want just
Like
straight
a
decks or
straight
do you want
dex?
still?
You need dice?
I do need you.
Straight
Yeah.
straight dex.
Straight
Straight
decks.
decks. Okay, no bonuses on just decks?
Just flat dex check.
I was thinking about staying and making sure that if
Did
something
you roll like a
does
hero?
happen, that
Huh?
I'll be
You roll
there
like a
with
Yeah. Did you guys roll like a
Maybe
hero?
some
I did.
pass without a trace?
It's not stealth check.
It's not a stealth check.
Yeah, it's a big size.
Wow.
It's just a flat
No,
dex
it's not a
check.
stealth
Yep,
check.
yep.
That's
Or else I
a
would.
shame.
So
Save it for a better day.
who got over a 10?
I did.
So the first door, unfortunately, it seems as though somebody has put something in front of it. So removing this cabinet that they put in front of this door causes a shit ton of noise. Like you guys accidentally topple it over and it crashes, and like there's like a whole bunch of books and shit that just tumble down the stairs because it's near the staircase. So
You see you see Singing Spear flinch and then just look over at you guys with just total venom in his eyes, just like.
Luckily, you didn't alert anything nearby.
I make eye contact.
So
I look at you guys.
You then prop open the door and you see this person, looks like a young woman, is just kind of just meandering around the room, like face to the wall and just like touching the walls and like pushing on them and not really doing anything. And Shao goes in there and just real quick with a punch to the back of the skull, and she just fucking dies outright. So next room, dex checks.
Before we get to the next room, I look at Alfarius and Thalin, yet again still venomous, and I go back downstairs. You're going to ruin this for all of us. Your undead will die, Alfarius, as you wish. But you are not going to bring more here. I will not die for your god.
You may need my blade.
I do not need your blade.
I'm not going back
I have his
downstairs.
blade. You may wait at the edge of the stairwell then.
I'll be looking outside for any real threats.
So you kind of walk back. You walk back to one of the second story windows near the beginning of the staircase, the landing, and you just kind of look out the curtains and look into the swamp. And it's pretty dark already at this point, and there's no real lighting at all because the interior lights have all been squanched. So you're kind of just in the last bits of twilight, pushing at the end. You're just watching the edge of the water, just to make sure if anything happens to come from that direction, that's something that you guys can see ahead of time.
Wouldn't it be cool if Dragonborn
So,
had
dex
dark
checks.
vision?
Yeah, it would be.
Don't you talk shit!
Don't you
And
do
this
that.
happens!
That's not good.
So who got over 10?
Not me. I got a 3.
So, the door, this one isn't barricaded. You open the door, and as you're going into the room, immediately the zombie is standing by the door and just lunges through, and its hand goes straight through the door and breaks through it and starts grabbing on the Thalen, and it's like yanking on your clothing and pulling you in and trying to bite you. Like, Luthot grabs it, like tries to grab and push its face, but his hand just slides off the dead skin and it hooks in the jaw, and it's like trying to chomp on your fucking fingers while your hand's stuck in its jaw. And Shao's just fucking like panicking. He's just like, he's trying to get him off, and finally he just fucking karate chops the arm and then fucking punches its head off, and it goes flying. But you make a significant amount of fucking noise while you're trying, like, it's pushing the door and it's like slamming closed over and over again and banging. You guys can all hear this downstairs. You just, fuck are they? They're supposed to be doing this quietly.
This is quiet.
Men.
But it seems as though things are on your side.
This is quiet.
So, the third room.
See,
You see this, and you're just like,
By the grace of my lady Lithana, please go back downstairs.
I didn't roll.
He wasn't
He
involved.
didn't
I
roll.
no.
I'm sorry.
That was you.
That was you two.
Yes.
It was
you
you
two.
two.
Don't
Yeah.
judge me.
You actually passed.
Yeah.
I'm being quiet.
You judgmental piece of shit.
In fairness, he's an elf. There's no way it's his
Singing
fault.
Yeah.
spirit. You
It's
screamed
not.
and karate chopped.
It is a
You went,
group.
"Hi-ya!"
It is a group
You
pass
can't
or
do
fail.
that.
So
Okay.
as long as at least two of you pass, you're good.
You can't say "Hi-ya!" and cut an arm off.
All right. So third
Not a good
room.
idea.
Very well. Let's try being a little more quiet.
I just stand behind all of them this time.
I'm just crossing my arms.
Oh.
I'm gonna
pass?
throw
Is everybody over 10?
No, I didn't pass.
I don't even need to go in the room. I got it. 20.
I
I
got
got
a
a natural
4.
20.
All right. So fortunately for you, this door opens just fine. They didn't even bother locking it, barricading it, anything. And it's just, you see this kind of older gentleman is just sitting in the middle of it's just sitting in the middle of the floor, just like touching it and like patting it and like going back and touching its face. And you just walk in there and just real quick, and you close the door and move on to the next one.
Ooh.
So room number 4.
I gotta roll high eventually. Right?
That's not true.
Isn't that how statistics work?
Yeah.
All on you.
It's all on you, Logan.
I don't know what happened last time. It was all on.
Eventually.
You thought.
Oh, we got it!
Oh! 11!
So once again, You open up the room with no issues, and it seems to just be laying in the middle of the floor. You go up, dagger to the back of the skull, and you close the door, and leave. Go downstairs.
Death metal. All the gas is leaving the corpse.
I really hope the knives pick up on that house. That's just odd.
Our German Shepherd's throwing a fit over there.
Yeah, she needs an intruder to attack.
Yeah.
We go back. Yeah. We get to where he's looking out of the window. I tap his shoulder and say, "It is done.
Thank you.
You have been cleansed."
Sure?
Is it done?
We'll do a perception check because I think I hear something.
By the way, so you go back downstairs to the basement, and is it done?
Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right then.
Whole room's been cleared. Now.
So I assume they should be heading out after the what is his name, Dimbledon, the herbalist, correct?
Yes.
Good morning.
We'll stay here for the night, I assume, and just rest and wait for the next day.
Sounds good.
So take a rest and then we move out at first night?
Yeah. Do you have a watch set up already? Or do you guys just hope nothing comes? You obviously
Our
saw
watch
us.
has just been don't go up the fucking stairs unless we have to and keep the door closed. That's been our watch for the most part.
I will rest in the manner of my ancestors, and after about 4 hours, I will take the watch.
I'll
I will
start.
watch through the night.
I'll start the watch. I don't got all that heavy armor to deal with, so I don't need help. Starting off, and then we'll trade off with your weird meditation, whatever.
Okay.
Does that sound good to everybody? I don't like just hiding in a hole and hoping nothing comes. You know, you want to confront danger.
I just disagree. I just keep the door fucking locked and stay down here, and then we risk nothing finding us whatsoever. Unless one of you opens up your damn mouths and screams.
So.
I think if these villagers here can manage to live in here for weeks, I think you guys can spend a night without setting off the alarms, correct?
You would like to think so.
I very much would. I very much would like to think so.
Well, I guess we can try.
I'm just saying, the last time. Never mind, that's rude. I'm not going to be mean to you, Luthon.
You too classy, half-elf.
No, I'm just saying, last time you said
Is it
something
better than
out.
me?
No, so last time you said something out of turn, you got clocked in the mouth.
Yeah, there will be repercussions.
I got a question. How much
For me or for Malphite?
Not for the scenario.
Oh, okay.
How much? Okay. How much? Do the villagers have like food and rations left, or are they like getting low?
No, they've been basically eating off the food stores that were left below for the ale house. A lot of it has gone bad because they've been down here for at least over, like, I think 3 weeks. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks that they've been stuck down here at this point. But they've periodically, Malphite said that they've been going up, like, she would go up and go into one of their homes and get whatever she could and bring it back down. So
Scavenging.
yeah, they are running low. And then they've been trying to keep as clean as possible and then emptying, like, their chamber pots and shit bucket, like, whenever they can.
So it smells lovely down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I go to Exodus and Theoden and friends.
No.
No.
But you come to us.
Okay then. First I go to Theoden, then I go to my friends.
Okay, that was good. I'll give you that. That was great.
Any spare rations you guys spare for the villagers?
No, I'm gonna eat all mine.
I always have spare berries.
I reach into her berry pouch and take one.
Berry? How many good berries do you?
Well, it's a spell.
Yeah, it
Good
is
berries
a
is a spell.
Well, that's not what I have. Just like
Oh,
berries.
you just got berries?
So rations.
Yeah, that's my ration.
So
of
rations
berries.
is berries.
Berry rations.
So
Berry
She's
rations.
scavenged
let's not
berries.
conflate good berries with rations.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she
Yeah.
said berries. I was like, Druid,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I was thinking good berries too, but good berries is a spell.
I reach in and pull out 10 days worth of rations.
Ooh.
You can make use of this. And give it to him.
So Nicholas comes up and he takes it and he kind of starts sorting it out to everybody. You know, for the most part, some of the elderly more seasoned individuals in there, they look like they're in pretty rough shape. Some of the children are they're really tired too, but they don't look like they're in a bad enough position where they couldn't like flee and make a trek out of the swamp and be a camper with anybody.
Well, I too will give up 10 days rations.
That should be, 2 meals for everybody at the very least?
For the most part, yeah.
Well, plus if they want to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're gonna need supplies to leave the Myers with. They need to actually flee.
Oh my gosh, I actually get to make like the
So,
show my things.
I know you're not looking at me expecting that I'm going to give up my food to these people. So
Oh.
you can put that to bed right now.
Oh, good thought. Did you have something you wanted to share?
No, I don't want to share anything. That's the whole point.
Seems like your bounty is full, but your givings are
Yeah.
low.
Yeah,
Givings on that.
yeah. My giving is Arlo or survive.
No
You
wonder
don't
people
survive
don't
by
like
giving
you.
away your resources.
We have a date.
I'm curing their
No, you
disease.
survive by taking everybody else's.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curing their disease.
I'm sorry, all I see is
So-
those 10 little things in this.
So, did you decide on the watch or not?
We're not.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, we're not going to watch.
I mean, you're in
So
a,
we can
you're,
go
you're in
there.
a secure room with
Yeah.
a door that
Mhm.
bolts and latches with a lock on it. So,
I imagine we're just going to do the 8 hours and leave as early as possible.
Exactly
Rest
right.
up.
Yeah.
Power nap status. Sleep off my little temper tantrum so I can get them
dark
back.
vision, dark vision, but no.
Take my armor off.
So half. Okay.
Oh, it's.
Yeah, I'd take my armor off too.
I don't want to say like superior races.
Hey, I'm just saying
Dark
human
vision.
plus 1.
I think it's. I still think it's lame.
So,
Dragonborn don't get dark vision.
You guys
I
are
think so too.
having this conversation, and you guys are all just observing and doing this. Riken, when you're talking to everybody, you're watching him portion out the rations, and suddenly everything just slows and stops.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the little girl in the dress in the middle of the room.
Does she look like a star?
She looks like Shush,
Right.
and she simply walks into the room. You were calling for me again. What is it that you want? I thought it was very clear in our last meeting, and I'm not here to just respond to every little question that you have about the world, Riken. You haven't fulfilled even the smallest task that I asked you at this point. I'm starting to become impatient. My other are being far more successful in their duties to me than you are at this point.
So far, maybe.
Either way, what is it that you need from me? And she just kind of walks over to you and walks around you, and she kind of flails her dress, and she just kind of walking up to each, then she kind of moves around the room and starts like touching the other party members, and like she goes up to Thalen and like flicks his hair forward, and she's like, I'm waiting.
The things that we're going up against. Undead at every corner.
Uh-huh.
LaFay causing her whatever she's doing.
Okay.
I need more
Need more what?
power.
I already gave you power. You have it to draw on as long as you need.
True. And it's worked so far.
Or so says our contractual agreement, at least.
Yeah.
I am bound to honor our agreement as patron and such.
You are.
Is it
And
some secret knowledge that you're asking for? Some other knowledge? Something that might help you?
yeah. I need to know exactly how to take advantage of that hag.
Well, hags are simple creatures. They're driven by a form of narcissism. Each hag believes that it's beautiful in its own way, and for the most part, they're, I would even say, close in par with the kind of power that you have at your fingertips.
Mhm. This one in particular, I'm sure you know about it. You know a lot of things, right?
I do know a lot of things. But I also don't really care for things that are far too below my notice.
Then maybe the sword I can create. If you'll allow, or give me the secret to create more than just a sword. Utility would be good, especially since I won't be able to fight quite as well in this mud.
The knowledge is already there. You just simply need to seek it in your own mind and unlock the barriers for yourself. I have already given you the ley line that connects to the power, the vast source of power I have at my disposal. The breakthroughs are your own to make. You are only holding yourself back. You need to just embrace who you are and what you are. Riken.
One more.
You are a warlock. A powerful magic user, gifted by a patron, by myself, the Queen of the Succubi. An infinite and vast resource of power to push through. It's time to let go of all the things that you once were and all the things that you think you can be. Your past is gone. Your family is dead. But then again, maybe you just need the proper motivation. If eternal damnation of the family members who are dead souls isn't enough, then maybe I should give you another one. One of your sisters is alive. She survived the slaughter at your household and escaped. Adopted by a nice family in Zuan, where she still resides to this day. Under a new name, of course. If you want to know who it is and where she is, specifically, then all you need to do is just accept what you are and move forward with your life.
Fine. When I get back, I will need your help with the priest.
I just don't think you're being resourceful enough.
They keep the relic behind a lock. I can get there. But
I will grant you the use of one of my servants in your assistance. When the time is right, an imp by the name of Bevet will arrive and assist you with the task. But that's all I'm willing to do. I give you the tasks, you accomplish them, and that is the deal and the requirement. Or would you rather just not sleep again for a while? Please, do not call on me unless it is by some miracle an emergency of the greatest and most direst of circumstances.
You're the boss.
Remember, you are holding yourself back and shackling yourself to a past that you no longer are attached to anymore. You are no longer Riken, the city guard. You are now Riken, the warlock of the Nine Hells of Beator. Servant of the Queen of the Succubi, of Lilith. Embrace it and use the power, and you will find that you can do a great deal of many things that you never could before. Is that all you require of me?
Unless you can snap your finger and make all this done.
Unfortunately, no.
Well then, that's it.
Right then. And she disappears, and everything goes back to normal speed.
Why
Who
would
else
you
I
eat
laughing
that?
about?
Why would you eat that?
Why wouldn't you? It's called conservation.
That's definitely rotted.
It didn't rot in my nose.
Sometimes, there's flies and insects that like to go up orcs' noses.
Oh, yeah,
it's more
protein.
spacious for them.
So, as you
Yeah,
all
same
settle in
for
for the
later.
night, you eat, you kind of get out your bedrolls and set up whatever gear you need to. The night passes without any issue. You wake up the next morning and ready and rearing to go. All the villagers have begun making preparations, gathering their personal belongings together. Nicholas is talking to what appears to be probably his grandson, and he's telling him that I'll be all right. I'm just going to take them to the edge of where the blight begins, and I will wait for them for some hours, and then I will be back. Just reassuring him that he's not going to die, taking you out to the blight tree. And then he turns to you. Well, when you return from rescuing Dimble, we'll go to my barge and I'll lead you through the swamps to the blight tree. It's a dangerous journey across plenty of open water and deep water sources. It's very easy to get lost.
About how long will it take, you think, from here to that freshwater creek you were speaking of?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Towards the trolls.
The trolls? I don't know, it depends on you. To get to the very edges, maybe an hour.
Okay.
It depends on obstacles or things that you come across or your general pace. It's a fairly well maintained and simple path to follow.
Yeah. So we have our plan of attack.
Yes.
Go get some mushrooms, come back.
Go cut
ride.
Go cut down a tree.
Go cut down a tree. Or burn it down. I'm a big fan of fire. Right.
Come on, let's go.
Usually I am not one to be okay with tree burning, but if this is a bad tree, then I do not mind.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure Lathana would be okay with it.
I'm guessing if it's a blight tree, a blight, that sounds bad. So,
It's just a name. What are you all so worried about?
well, people don't give stuff names like blight tree for no reason, right?
We named it. It was named Blight Tree generations ago after the witches that were living nearby that were hung and murdered there.
Yeah.
It's not named because of some strange ancient curse or something that circles the tree. It's just the name.
I don't know, you hang a bunch of witches at a tree, that screams curse to me, but whatever, it's up to you what we do with the tree.
We just don't venture that far in barges because that deep into the mires is filled with dangerous creatures.
Maybe those are brought about by a curse.
He just kind of just goes,
Dude, magic's weird. It's creepy. It does stuff. I don't really understand it myself. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there for everyone's consideration. Anyway, we have stuff to do. We can be philosophical eating all day.
Yes, precisely, Lothak.
You were doing
Let us go.
so.
Does anybody need to do any last minute preppage before you go? Any spell swap changes or anything before you leave?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not allowed to do those because I didn't level.
And Amanda, remember, as a druid, much like a cleric, you get to prepare whatever spells each day.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, whichever one's from
So
Because
you might
druids
want
are
to give a
very
quick
flexible.
glance and select the spells that are most
Because
appropriate.
druids are super flexible. They're a great
And clerics.
and
Druids are the tankiest class.
paladins.
A paladin is almost as flexible as a cleric.
Yeah.
He's
A paladin
just, actually, no, he's half as flexible. Yeah.
Oh!
Jinx! Give me a drink.
I would, but it's all the way over there.
We'll have a break eventually.
Alright, let's take a look.
So is that yes or no?
I'm
No.
all good, sir.
No?
I'm
Warlock,
gonna-
that's a no.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I,
you have Eldritch Blast. What else do you need?
I can
Eldritch
fucking
Blast.
change things.
Okay, so we're
You
just
could
waiting on
change
Amanda for a
things,
moment
but
then?
that's it.
Alex, what did you say was good? Like it was Thornwood?
Thornwood?
Oh yeah, that's a cantrip. You don't get to just swap that out.
Unfortunately.
There are things about Thornwhip that a lot of people don't take into account. Like it's a melee spell attack, meaning that if they're prone, advantage.
Yeah.
Even though you have a range of 30 feet, it's a melee spell attack.
Very
Yeah.
true. It's very true.
But yeah. But
Such power creep, much wow.
much wow, more better.
Mo better.
More better.
Mo better.
It is good.
Should I
Hmm?
get...
I just walk over to the corner and I mutter to myself, my out for that thing, whatever it was. I'm gonna do it.
Should I get hold person?
You
So
can
when you're
weird
in the-
regard from.
Reference
So when
to
you're
the
in-
dream.
Yeah, when you're in the corner and you're muttering to yourself, you hear the faint a faint female voice, just very quickly, and it just says, "Don't fail these people, Luthok." And then it's gone.
Oh. That was me.
We'll get mixed messages here.
You can't just survive. What are you gonna do?
No,
You gotta save people.
Now non-orcs have to survive.
I just think as I wait for everyone to get ready, and I ponder like Winnie the Pooh.
That's a third level spell.
It's pretty good.
We'll just get your little pop gun too. Don't forget your little cork gun.
Little cork in.
We all ready to venture off.
We have to wait for the Whisperer. She is
Whispering.
She looks like she's working on
You know,
something.
you really probably should ask Alex because he's actually played a druid.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Amanda, what's your
Look, Amanda, it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to be out there murdering shit or out there being
I want
utility?
She wants to cough.
utility.
Okay, then your list isn't bad.
Okay. I'll keep it.
You want any damage things?
We do tons of damage. We'll be fine.
Well, one good damage thing is nice.
That's my cantrip.
That's fair.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You got my game.
All right.
You're good.
We're good. We're
You've
good.
got the one necessary thing, which is a beam of light.
So,
Meow, meow.
as you leave the basement and go to the top floor, you hear the distinct sound of the door, and the latching, and finally the click of the lock being put on the door. And you,
Behind us, right?
yeah, behind you.
Yeah, no, they locked us in there.
Yeah.
They
I said
didn't
you
want
left,
us
but
to
they
go.
locked you in there.
So-
It's
sorry.
a trick. It's
Sorry.
all. It's a trick. It's all Lilith.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I guess I
Open the
misheard
doors.
for 1
We're-
second. My
So-
brain shut down.
Open the door.
As
We're
Shao
in
goes
Apples.
forward and
Congratulations.
peeks through the window and checks the city streets, the early dawn light and morning rays. First, peeking over the edges of the Gray Spire Mountains and down into the valley. You see a bit of animal life and some like doves on the ground in the middle of the street that pick up and fly, but you don't see any signs of any undead or anything else moving around nearby. So you carefully open the door, then move out into the streets and begin heading in the general direction that Nicholas had granted you the knowledge of. And you find the path right where he said it would be. There's a sign that points in the proper direction, and it's labeled as a trapper's path, and you follow it for some time until finally reaching the edge and boundaries after an hour or so of what he would consider dangerous territory.
Right.
And there you see almost like signposts with nothing written on them, but just kind of going out into the water in opposite directions. And on the very middle one, it just says "Danger Trolls."
I think we're heading in the right direction.
That's the way we need to go.
Yep.
Alrighty,
All right, marching
everyone.
order.
We're still in the swamp.
Yeah, me in front.
Stick guy.
Stick guy.
I actually, as we're walking, I find a stick and I just bust it off and hand it to you to go.
Yeah.
It's
Better,
with
better
this
stick than my leg.
Are you
So
behind him?
Luthok up front. Who's next?
behind.
Middle.
Him? Okay.
My bone drawn, not my blade.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, your what?
Where's
My
everybody
bow.
else?
Oh, bow. I thought you said your thumb drawn, not your blade. And I'm like, is that like an
Rear. I'll take up rear.
And I was like,
Okay.
That's position.
I'm in the middle somewhere.
I'll be in front of Alfarius.
So we've got me, Riken.
No, you have
No. So
Luthor.
the marching order is. I have it set up. Okay. Luthok, Shao,
Dylan,
Thalen, Riken,
Ellen.
Ellen, and Alfarius at the rear.
At the rear. The rear guard.
Right.
He's in the rear with the gear.
Tossing that big fat 11 passive perception on the rear, huh?
During that time, seeing the danger signs,
I like it.
I
Gotta
kind
live
of,
life on the edge.
Well, if he's gonna get attacked from the rear, he's
So
got
he's the
place
one
that.
to get hit. I'm just saying.
So what was that?
He's got a
So
point
seeing the
against
danger
it.
sign,
Uh-huh.
understanding this is important to me, important I say with all my love, I suddenly go ahead and put my spear down, and my totem is that of a dream catcher, and it has some leaves and branches, and it was made out of branches. I suddenly you see my hands go green, and then you see me swerve it, and then all of a sudden everyone's surrounded with awesomeness. Pass without a trace.
Okay.
We're surrounded by awesomeness?
So everyone, since this is back to important matters, I'm going to make sure that we're not going to be detected. So please, from now on, because I can only do this for about an hour, proceed with much caution, as the sign says, and I keep pointing at it. I cast a spell that'll help us not be detected, unless it is of a magical course. So don't cast anything that'll attract any attention, but just proceed with caution.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do. Open up my stick.
Because if there's dangerous creatures, I heard the word alligators. They're not friendly, or even trolls.
No, Lynn.
Would you be able to speak to these alligators, Whisperer?
I might. I could. I can.
Lynn, before we go further in,
Yes.
I have to ask you a question. Especially as you're the boss now.
Is it my age? Because that's very rude.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Don't flatter yourself.
Okay.
Alright. If I get attacked by a giant monster alligator or something, do I have permission to fight back?
Of course. It is the survival of the fittest.
Yeah, so
out
me.
here. Well,
But I'm allowed to fight back.
if you saw a little egg and you started punching it, then. But if it's attacking you, I'm alright with that.
Alright.
It's just the cycle of life. It's the circle of life.
Okay.
Are we allowed to eat the egg?
I don't think it'd be very tasty. Can I
Eggs
do a
are
history
delicious.
check to make sure
Alligator egg?
alligator eggs are tasty?
It's an egg.
Sure. Go ahead.
It's probably.
No, it's
it
plus
doesn't-
5. Do I know if an alligator egg is tasty?
You've never eaten one yourself.
I don't know. It's an alligator egg.
Uh,
I think an ostrich egg would be more appetizing.
They are. They're delicious.
I understand you're a human, Riken, and I'm not quite sure how well your memory works. But I believe the last time you asked her a question about the viability of harming nature's creatures for no particular reason, you saw our god.
Did we see an elk?
Well, I mean, last I checked, when an elk looks at a tree, it doesn't die.
Well,
yeah, everything.
that's to be debated.
It's
Fair enough, Riken.
So what's your plan for navigating this mire?
We're going to use the stick approach.
That's fine.
The
How you guys
stick
plan on
fighting.
finding the trolls?
Yeah.
I'll track.
Okay.
I will track.
So you're going to need to stand in front then.
I'm going to hand off the stick.
Are you proficient in survival?
Yeah, I am. Orcs survive.
Hell yeah, he survives. Hell yeah, I'm badass. What the hell?
That's where the saying
do
came
it.
from.
You can do it. You can make your survival checks with advantage then. With shouting right behind you.
Oh, we'll survive together.
Yeah, survival.
So
that feels dirty.
staring out at this mire, it's mainly this area looks like mostly flat wetlands with lots of tall grass, overgrown grass, and such. And it's intermittently foggy and denser in places, but for the most part, you still have about that ankle-foot depth of fog that just kind of lays as a blanket across most of the water. You haven't seen any of those bubbling tar pits or anything nearby this direction.
Don't touch those. Bad.
But you can make out that kind of looking at the general layout, there are patches of higher ground and dry dirt and such that you could possibly use to make your way through the mire.
The basic strategy is going to be using those points of high ground as almost like fucking waypoints. So go from one high point to another, even if it's a little further to go that way, rather than falling in whatever precarious dangers may wait. That's my basic
Try to
strategy.
stay high.
Stay high.
All right, give me a survival check then. You
Roll it. Okay.
you are.
Wow, we could have done better.
What'd you get?
12.
12.
Could have done worse.
So you go out for. You spend a good amount of about maybe 25 to 30 minutes just kind of making your way and familiarizing yourself with kind of the terrain patterns and how to make your way through the mire. But you don't see any signs of trolls at the moment. And finally, you reach this nice plot of land where you think you can get a better bearing on your surroundings. So give me another check, please.
Oh, orc survived 16.
16. Okay.
The orc got a 16. Half
So-
orc got a 16.
As you are traveling from that point and looking outwards, you see a couple of dense clumps of foliage and overgrown trees that looks like it's probably a good place to check. So as you move over there, you guys, if you immediately recognize the signs of troll passage, you can actually see that they have put some sort of like a warning to them on the
Like the
outside
locals
outsider edge. Not like them at all. No, it looks like basically there's a human skull that's just plopped on this stick.
Yeah.
Well, it's a troll warning. Troll warnings. That's what
Yes.
that is.
Reminds me of
Troll
home.
signs.
When you said that, I literally immediately thought of Shrek.
Yeah.
Where it's
Troll
just
sign.
like, beware ogre. This is
Yeah.
all right. Ah!
Well,
Beware troll.
This is my swamp.
I walk up and I point out the post. Looks like we're getting close. And I spin the head on the post.
yeah, it just kind of and like falls into the water and just plops in. For the most part, it's been pretty dry. But going forward and going through this, you're going to be up to your about to your knee depth, possibly in water.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
great.
Right. Like we talked about. Alligators, horrible monsters, obviously trolls. So we need to be extra slow, extra careful. That metal, it's going to weigh you down. Up to you if you want to wear it. But you guys in the back have a job. Keep an eye out for movements in the water. These predatory creatures in the water, they move slow and are hard to detect. Look for flashes in the eyes, like glistens of light.
Is it pretty gloomy? Because we got like a foot of like a fog.
Oh, the water is
so
murky.
yeah. So if we're like you said waist high.
No,
Knee high.
Knee high,
So
yeah.
knee high. So then
So
the fog's
waist
about
high.
waist.
Yeah, the fog would be about waist high.
So
or
the
something.
fog's
So the
about
But the
fog
fog
would
is a very thin layer, almost to the point, and it for the most point, if you just wave your hand through it, just immediately kind of disperses.
Okay.
It doesn't take much movement.
Okay.
So for someone who's 5'6", it's probably water's here, fog's here
Yeah.
for me.
Pretty much.
So I'm just going like this all the time.
You see me grab.
You're
some
just
fo-
splashing the water.
No, the fog.
so she can
Oh,
see. 'cause
oh,
it's
she's
almost- you see
she's
me grab
swabbing
twine
fog.
and like
Yeah.
tie him around the top of my boot, prevent water from getting in. I don't want soggy feet.
So I start leading the way.
So you guys just want to like kind of walk through there, or are you gonna attempt to like conceal yourselves moving through the environment?
How long has
Is
that been?
Pass Without a Trace still up?
Yeah, then we'll definitely. I say move concealment.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be, if I understand it, kind of like helps remove the traces of that we've even been there.
Yeah. You don't,
Yeah,
Exactly.
it gives us a dexterity of +10.
you don't make
Yeah,
sound,
but
you don't leave
isn't there
footprints.
an added text like people won't be able to tell that you've been there?
You cannot be tracked other than by magical means.
All right, yeah. So
So there's no sloshing water or clomping boots.
No.
We're quiet.
I think so long as we have the protection of her weird light, awesomeness.
I believe she called it awesomeness. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as we have that, we should be okay. But that doesn't mean to get complacent.
But just don't get away from me. If you move further away from me, the effects will not cover you anymore.
Don't split the
Altharius.
party, guys.
Make sure she keeps up with the rest of us.
So yeah, so that's our plan. Is to
Trudge.
trudge through.
Okay.
Some of us would trudge, gracefully. Versus somebody else trudging.
More like Godzilla going through the swamp, like when he first comes out of the ocean.
You
starts
are like
destroying
Godzilla.
buildings.
Fair enough.
All right. So anybody who wants to hide themselves while moving through, take a stealth check.
I have a +10 actually, so.
Really? Yeah. Why not?
I have disadvantage, but with a +10, it can't go wrong.
Definitely
Yeah,
can't
you
go
can.
wrong.
21.
Good job. It's outrageous.
31.
Should have been a attack roll.
So I got a natural one, but I have a +1, +10. So
Well-
that's like a 12.
Oh,
So here, I have 31. You can take like 6.
I don't know if you can just pass off some of your dex check. I don't know if that
he
works.
could try and inspire me.
I got
but
31.
We're in the middle of a swamp.
He's gonna inspire you. I inspire you, Lupa, to
that's-
walk better.
Actually, no.
So-
if you want, I'll give it to you. All you hear is.
Did you make one?
No.
No? Okay.
Why not?
But you're gonna attempt to just be stealthy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, this is like above and beyond normal. So
Yeah.
this is good for me. This is good for the group.
Just
Yeah.
taking a 10.
This is good for us.
Or 5. Or however that works.
Do you have a negative?
Well, if he's not gonna make a stealth check, he doesn't get any pluses. He's just moving stealthily.
Yeah, if a boulder is going to come from the fog, it's going to hit the rear of the party, which is me. So,
All right. So you begin slowly but surely moving your way very carefully through the water and slushing your way through. And every once in a while, Luthok has to take his axe and like cut through some dense branches and some overhang, some overgrowth in front of you. And you see that more distinctly now. There's signs of troll passage. You can see claw marks on the edges of the trees. Branches have been broken and cracked and tossed aside. And you even come across a couple of large footprints indented into the mud, along with as well what looks like the passage of multiple like wagons as well have been kind of pushed through and dug into the mud. But you don't see any footprints belonging to anybody other than the trolls. And so
I want to do a nature check to see if I can like tell how long ago they've passed through.
okay. Well, it'd be a survival check.
Survival. Okay, that's 14.
Um,
I had to do math real quick. It was tough.
maybe within the last few days.
Okay. So it's not fresh. It's not like they were just here and we're right behind them right now.
No.
Okay.
No one in the village
Last few days.
said anything about the ogres taking carts.
Trolls.
The trolls taking carts. Did they?
I don't recall
remember
that, no.
saying anything about that.
I'm curious to see what a troll would do with a cart, though.
Throw it? I don't know.
Well, they seem to be using it. See, look at that, Luthok. See how there's 2 lines going that way? That
Yeah, I
means they're
see
using the wheels.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's actually older tracks there. It looks like there's, from what you can count, at least 4 separate wagon tracks.
4.
The one that is the one that is the newest one is the one you did the survival check on, has been passed through the last few days.
Cool.
So every once in a while, slapping these like large flies and insects and grasshoppers and kind of climbing out of the water to dry land to follow these tracks towards hopefully their den. You know, a couple of you, Phelan has to peel some leeches off of his body in places, and you guys then nearby hear the crash into the water of like an alligator that had been nearby that you were completely unaware was even there. And you follow the trail for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you start to hear the distinct reverberation of voices. Deep voices coming from large creatures, kind of echoing through. And then you start to smell something cooking. You know, it smells kind of rank. And as you
good rank or bad?
no, bad rank.
Well, I mean, for an orc, is it a good rank?
Yeah.
No, it's all badness. It's all
I was like,
badness.
for us, yeah, it's going to smell bad.
But it's like the
An
orc.
orc.
You follow the wagon trail, and it comes to this thick underbrush that you kind of carve up to, and you look outwards, and you could see 2 very large boulders just covered in moss and partially obscured and hidden by what looks like purposeful intent, as they've been pulled like branches that they've been breaking off the trees and like putting them on the rocks and blocking. You can see that there's an entrance that's fairly lit between the 2 of them. You can see the reflection of dim firelight kind of flickering on the inside, and it seems as though the 2 boulders had sunk into the ground and maybe there's a cave there. But then you also see 3 enormous trolls sifting through boxes and crates on these wagons that they have pulled to this location, and are angrily discussing amongst themselves whose turn it is to sort through all the junk that they found. And they're arguing, and one of them jostles the other one, and obviously the largest out of the 3, you hear him, "Oh, no, your turn. He goes, "No, we'll make the cook do it." And they're just bickering amongst themselves, and Then you see on the pile near the front of the entrance into this cave in the mire, you see that there's a huge pile of what look like humanoid bones and gore that have been tossed here. Most likely the unlucky travelers that the trolls would happen across when they ambushed them on the roads or traveling through the nearby veiled forest. And then you just continue to argue and push one another, and finally they just, oh, whatever. No, we'll get the cook to do it. I'll go grab him. And one of them starts walking towards the cave. But then the biggest troll sniffs the air, and they turn and look right at Alfarius, who is accidentally within line of sight of the enemy. And then we'll take a break.
I have theories. I have so many theories. Game theories.
So, we're going to take a short 15-minute intermission, and hopefully you'll stick with us and come right back, and then we'll get right into rolling initiative.
Yeah, we're still running our giveaway as a reminder. So, at 500 followers, we're giving away a gift set collectible starter kit with all the core rule books and a DM screen with collectible art.
Yep.
Once this run is over, they won't be making anymore, so it is actually a collectible item, and we're giving it away to you guys. We're also planning on putting in some minis and maybe some dice as part of it, as a way to give back to you, our supporters, that we appreciate so much. And then make sure to follow if you're not already following, because that ticker will go up, and then our next episode we'll give it away.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be right back now that the orc has stopped talking. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes. We'll take a potty break, etc. We'll be right back with more legendary action and combat. All right, and we're back.
Hello, we're back. We're
Yeah, the
still here.
cameras.
We're gonna
here.
die.
So, initiative.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Starting over here.
Yep.
I got a
Marcus,
plus
cameras
0.
off.
Ooh, we're looking at a 6.
A 6.
Good start. Good start.
Okay.
Solid
Failing.
start.
Next up, Phelan with advantage.
5 and 4. 5
And a
less.
4, so 9.
Wow, that's the lowest you've rolled yet.
It's a hero roll.
It's almost like the fear of God was put in me.
Mike, can you
Jeez, not great.
Alex is way off.
Oh, my goodness. That camera's just nudged a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Do we need to move the battle cam backwards and push the terrain further this way?
Battle cam was pretty good.
Yeah, it was,
I fear it's like blocking Alex's face, is what I'm
It is.
saying.
It's in his
is.
mouth.
but that's
Do you want to angle it down?
angle it down.
Lower.
Until let's see there.
One moment, I must take creative control.
Creative control. We need the creative control on the control boards. Yeah.
Red
We become scholars.
Hence, we don't need no sticking.
Perhaps we are having troubles with Control RP in reaction to Battlefield.
Well, everybody, welcome back to Legendary Action. This is what it's all about. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
It's true.
With
This is
extra
how
At
it
its
steps.
finest.
It's like playing Warhammer with extra steps that are hard
Yeah.
and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Hard, but necessary. It's a sacrifice.
Necessary.
We're walking through the swamps.
Oh, we can get in there.
There we find some.
We
find
can
some
all
trolls
get
in a
in there.
natural habitat.
We can super get in there.
We'll see.
Oh,
Super
okay.
can get in there.
Super can. Like really.
All right, so Riken.
I got myself a 12.
Yeah.
Perfectly average.
Next is Miss Elana.
Alright, guys, we're gonna do it with the miniest comparable size. Miniest of miniest dice.
Oh, yeah, those were the ones who got that convention?
Yeah. So, and it's a stealth check, right?
No,
No,
that's
it's
your
an
initiative.
Alright, initiative.
We've only been playing this game for how long?
15.
Years.
Back in my day,
No.
you didn't have initiative.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's a 19.
Oh, that is
Ooh.
going to be a 23.
You're not fast
That is not a 19.
That's
But
not.
not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. That's a 14.
Yeah, is that trolls?
It's a
Trolls.
troll.
What, are the trolls going separately or as a group?
They're going separately. So
Oh,
green
shit.
got a 13, orange got a 10, and white rolled a 1.
Oh.
Orange got a what?
White.
10.
Rolled a 1.
And
You're gonna
then
really
white
you're
got
gonna
a
do bad
1?
things, dude.
Yep.
You suck, White.
You said
So
what?
top of the
You
order
garbage.
is-
You garbage.
Gotta get your shit together, White.
So, both green and white are both surprised.
There's
Ooh,
no
actually.
not.
Kitty, kitty.
I'm just imagining.
So orange may move and act as normal on his turn, but the other two will get their reactions back at the end of their turn.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
stupid.
Sorry.
I'm
I'm
imagining the
sorry.
white troll
Sorry.
with
Did I hit
Whitey's
you?
voice.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It may have nudged my toe, but
Okay.
I'll
Sorry.
survive.
That's at least 1 bludgeoning damage. You're gonna need to take that off your health points.
That's fair.
So as Alferis accidentally stumbles forward out of the undergrowth and like tules and weeds, like he stumbles and just shifts all the water, and you guys turn and look at him, and the largest troll in the center just turns immediately and just sniffs the air and starts running forward towards you. The other they're minding their own business, going through the crates and shit still at the moment.
And that was green, right? That's the one that reacted to him?
No, orange.
Orange. Sorry.
Orange.
Cool.
So who goes first?
Singing Spear.
It's almost like the dexterous character goes first.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
We should put
So-
the battle board on.
ooh,
Battle camp scene.
battle camp scene.
I
Let's
thought I
see. So, Orange has noticed my companion.
Mm.
The white is dumb.
But can you
Decisions.
tell?
You're already hidden, so you have advantage on your first attack roll.
Yeah. I think what we're gonna do is we're Singing Spear, seeing his friend just clomp out into the middle of like the open.
Mhm.
He's gonna look back. He's gonna look at Alfarius and just be like, and he's gonna draw his spear and he's gonna run up to Orange.
Woo!
And he's gonna handle the guy who saw him first.
So
Yeah, right in front of him. We're gonna go
10.
front and center there.
15, 20.
Give me another one. Or no, he takes up that space.
Yeah, they're large creatures.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're large
Okay.
creatures.
Yeah.
Which means you are also in white's threat range, just to let you know.
Ooh, maybe we'll step
Yeah,
over
and
one.
greens.
Actually, wait, no. I
10
want to stay
foot
there.
reach?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, 5 foot.
And he's
Oh,
surprised, so
five
he
foot?
doesn't get a reaction on me anyways, correct?
No, he gets his reaction on back
After
at the end of
his
this turn.
At the end of
this
it.
turn.
Okay, at the end of this turn. All right. I'm gonna do.
I just wanted to let you know that you are.
I'm in his strike range.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, perfect. And that was 20 feet to get to him, right?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Another question. Do I have space to move through there?
No, you cannot move through a hostile creature space.
Okay, and that's what I mean. Is like there's no
No,
gap in
no,
between those
No,
two.
there's not.
They're all clumped up together,
Yep.
basically. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna.
And it's almost like I handcrafted the encounter.
Weird. Almost like he made a wall of trolls. Just so you guys know, this is good DM work.
Oh, what are my players? good
I've
at?
only
I'm
spent
gonna
like
counter that.
a month planning these encounters, whatever.
No big deal. It's easy.
So what are we doing?
So what we're gonna do is some good old fashioned hitting.
Hitting?
We're gonna hit a troll. That's what I'm planning on.
Ladies
doing.
and gentlemen, I would like to point out that this is going to be a great test of why monks don't scale well into the late game. Just
Nah.
watch.
Oh,
that's a natural 20.
Is it crit?
I crit, yes.
Dope.
On
Orange, correct?
on orange, yes. Everything's going to orange. Oh, that's a D8. Oh,
Solid.
That's a 1.
Yeah, that's good.
Super solid.
Wow, got him. So that's going to be, a whole 2 plus 4. It's going to be a whole 6.
Well, it's crit, right? So roll again, right?
Oh, he was just doubling the dice.
Yeah,
No, we roll them both.
Oh, you roll 2. Okay.
Yeah, we roll again.
1.
Yeah.
So
That's a whole 6 damage.
That's a whole
That's-
6
that's-
I was presumptive. Don't do that to your dice.
Yeah,
That's bad for you.
That's a cruel, twist of fate.
That's
there.
unlikely.
Cool, just a fake.
Okay,
That's
so-
fair. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna spend a key.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take away his reaction.
What are you using? What are you casting?
I'm not casting anything. I'm just using my open hand technique. So basically what's happening is I run up to this guy because I see him notice how far he is, and I'm like, shit!
Yeah.
I go running up there. I get him with the tip of the spear. It does like nothing. It's like I poked him with a pin. Boop! And he turns to react to me, and then I swipe him with the back end of the spear, and it just catches him across the chin.
Oh.
Oh, jeez, what happened here? This thing just went nuts on me. Reload. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll roll for my second attack.
Okay.
This one's not so good. That's, let me get back in there now that I can, get in there. It's a 15.
It's a 15? It's a miss.
15's a miss, okay.
Note to the table, 15's a miss.
And then we're going to spend another one, why not, to do a flurry of blows on him.
Okay.
Ooh, flurry.
Flurry.
So you have advantage on the attack, don't forget.
Still, yeah.
Yep. Roll with the mini.
The 19. That's a good 19. So that's going to be 26.
26, that's a hit.
And that's going to be 10 damage. And
10 damage.
I'm gonna flavor them all as one hit, so I'm gonna go for my second flurry of blows. Wow, that's good. So that's 24.
That's
and
hit.
an additional 6, so that's another 10 damage. So
What's your damage total?
that's 20 damage on the unarmed strikes.
Ooh. Nice.
So
Damn.
I go in for the stab. I get him with the poke. He reacts. I smack him to daze him, and then I use the shaft of my spear. I sink it down into the mire, and I come up with both my feet, and I just kick him right in the face. Both feet. Bah!
So you guys, as Alfarius stumbles forward and this troll starts lumbering forward and beginning to shout, you watch just quick as fucking lightning, the wood elf just starts running across, almost skipping across the top of the water, just digs in the pole, fucking fat hits, and you see it strike across the troll's face. You see its fucking tusk just come blasting out with blood, and then it's just dazed and crumbling forward and just leaning forward, and he's just yeah, I'm a fucking badass, and knocking the fuck out.
Yeah. A badass, and then the badass is going to take his other 25 feet to go back right where he was.
So he has his reaction, correct?
He does not. I took it away.
Key point.
I used the key to take that from him.
Well, that's what. So what ability did you use that does that again?
That is the open hand technique.
Out of
So there's 3 choices. I have one where I can trip the guy on a dex. I have another one where I can push him on a strength.
Okay.
And then the last one is I should just eliminate his reaction.
Oh, okay. All right.
So there's no
But
save.
you have to land a hit, correct?
I have to land the hit in order to do
I
it.
just want to make sure because we're going. I wanted to go in order.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
all right.
correct.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And that's turn for the wood elf.
All right.
Who gets the wand?
Me.
That
Alright.
3 day.
I'll look on over to Alfarius.
Well, he's right in front of you.
Yep.
You look over to him, you go like this.
Well, I'll look on over to
Oh.
him.
As a matter of fact, you're starting to suspect that she might have accidentally bumped you out into the open.
Oh my goodness.
What are you doing?
Ready to have some fun? Ready to have the baddies? Ready? Are you ready?
Always ready. Where is everybody? Everybody's
What's
abandoned
going
me.
on?
Where are my friends?
What was that
Let
blur?
me see. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20.
You're a square ahead of wherever you're at. So once you're right there, you're at the trolls.
5, 10, 15, 20. Well, I want to see if this troll here is about 30 feet from me.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All
Everybody's
trolls
at
are
30
about
feet.
30 feet.
Because I want to cast the Thorn Whip, my cantrip. Because it's a melee ranged attack. I want to do
Okay.
thy Thorn Whip.
Okay. You have advantage
Alright.
on the attack roll. Please make your spell attack roll and roll with damage
Yep.
at the same time.
And then it is going to be 2d6s.
And which troll are you trying to hit?
I'm trying to hit
Green?
this one over here.
Green.
All right.
Oh,
Doesn't affect us.
Double
11s.
11. Yeah.
All right. So it is 11 plus 7, so 18 to hit.
That's it?
All right.
Okay, so we're in the range of 15 to 18. Don't go in
So
there.
it's 3, 4, 5. Sorry, piercing damage. So you suddenly see Lynn just like point her spear towards that, and then all of a sudden, like you see projectiles of thorns going over the troll. And if it is a large or smaller, if the creature is large or smaller, you pull the creature up to 10 feet close to you.
Okay, so you wanted to pull the troll closer to you all?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I told her.
So how much damage did you do?
I did 3, 4, 5 piercing damage.
5?
Ooh.
Yes.
Very pokey Wily Whip.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll pull
So
him
you pull
closer.
him how close?
10 feet.
5.
So I'm like a Ferris. Hope you're ready for some
10.
fun.
So this troll is like lumbering through and like getting ready to reach into this bin, and then the thorns just wrap around them, and suddenly it just gets yanked backwards and slides through the mud. It just turns, just it's super fucking pissed off.
And then I pat on Ferris' shoulder. We got this.
Okay.
Yeah, we got this.
Sorry, Luthok, I was really caught off guard with just, I don't know, maybe the fucking troll that got drugged towards me.
Luthok, seeing all the action unfolding, I can't let all the pointiers have all the fun. And I reach.
Okay.
And I run over the green. And I put him.
Yeah,
Yeah, get him.
5, 10, so 15 feet.
Oh, that's low. That's a 14 to hit.
That is a miss.
But I have multi-attack now.
Level
Yeah.
5, people. It's
Level 5
important.
barb.
Look, leave it. 18.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
So I do 6
On green.
plus 4, 10, 11, 12. 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
With my battle axe. Yeah. And also, as he's the first person I hit, my supernatural powers start messing with him. And then so I swing and I hit him the second time.
What do your supernatural powers look like?
Um,
What's happening?
my supernatural. I
For
start
viewers who are not used to you.
Oh yeah. So I start huffing and puffing, and then like
And you blow their house down.
and light blue spurts of energy, almost arcing like electricity, start popping off me, and then as I hit him, you see almost like an after image blast out of him, and then he starts almost look like he's vibrating, like he's resonating differently with the world around him.
Yeah. Almost like he's kind of popping in and out of the material plane a little bit, shifting in and out of it.
And then I turn towards the other trolls, and then I take my axe and I bat my shield. And I end my turn.
All right.
Good thing, too, because I think it's Green's turn now. It is Green's turn.
It's Green Troll?
Green
All right,
Troll.
so he has his reaction back. His turn's over.
Next, Riken.
Cool.
Green is no longer surprised.
Alright. So,
Sorry.
I
Green York.
can't really get a good angle even with this from where I'm at, but I step forward and I kind of say to myself, alright, demon, you think the limit of my power is what I can imagine? Fine.
Yeah.
So I take a few steps and then I start to lift out of the water as I cast fly.
Ooh, he's gonna fly like a bird.
And I go
Fly like a bird.
45 feet straight up.
45?
Damn.
He's starting to believe. You gotta believe,
What?
man.
Sprinkle that pixie dust on him. Sprinkle it.
I like it. I really like it, Riken.
I like it, and I don't want to be a dick, but I'm just like, look, he found another way to run away.
Do you know, there's another point that goes,
Do you
there's
say-
a cart over there.
Do you say anything to the party as you start to levitate, or
Like, was this audible? Like,
I
you
can
could
fly!
hear me say that, or was that just to yourself?
I mean, I whispered it kind of to myself.
yeah, that
With the help of Phelan and friends, I fly!
Fuck you.
I'm 10 feet from you. My keen hearing hears that and goes,
you were like, I am darkness.
No, but I do also do something different that I haven't done yet. And with the weapon that's created with my bonus action is instead of a melee weapon, a bow.
Ooh, shiny.
Ooh.
Andy's having a hard
Yeah, it
time.
was like, dang it. I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
it.
he's
It's
really
hot.
digging for that 45 feet of pillar.
Yo, looks like you're gonna be getting shot. Spear.
No shit, right?
Oh, ow. Oh, same spot. Nice shot.
What does your bow look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Spectral bow.
Yeah,
It looks like a bow.
Hey, you got plenty of time.
Alright, so the bow. Well, when I spawn the weapons, they have like this crystalline purple look. So the bow is similar, but it seems like cracked and broken. And when I would draw it, the crystals separate, and there's like this black smoke in the cracks that simulates the bend of the bow.
All right.
I hear like
Yeah, couldn't you just pick like a round movement, like 40 or something? Is that 45?
Whatever, make it close enough. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Now we gotta adjust.
No,
the
it really
camera.
does because of things like range measurement.
Yeah, we know it's 45.
Okay. So, then your turn.
That ends. Yeah, that's everything I can do in a turn. So that's it.
Okay. So, you guys watch as
leave it
Riken
right there.
begins to
It's
like levitate up off the ground and just shoot
Yeah,
up
that's
into
what
the air,
I can tell you.
kicking out water in like a blast of force,
A
just
little
hitting
to
the
your
ground
left.
and spraying out elsewhere and flattening the nearby tules as he just lifts up into the air
Yeah.
and starts pulling back on this ethereal bow.
Yep.
Okay. Initiative tracker.
Sorry, orange.
Orange?
Mhm.
The orange and just starts running forward, stomping its heavy weight, just kicking into the mud as he charges straight after Luthok.
Yeah, Luthok, you're getting some fun now, buddy.
Fun!
Time for that survival.
Yeah.
Orc survived. Does he survive a troll smash?
Two trolls.
And he has advantage.
Oh no!
Oh.
So,
I was not
As
expecting that.
you see him whipping around, as he like just as he's running towards you, he just grabs this fucking log and yanks it out of the earth and starts bringing it over for this overhead strike.
He looked unarmed. I was so confident.
To be fair, none of you asked if they were wielding weapons.
No.
That's true. That's true.
That is true. Now,
Well, we didn't really have time for that interview because
So
somebody
fuck.
just went stumbling out into the open.
That's fair.
I just assumed they're trolls, so they're dangerous.
Moving on.
I think it's a safe assumption that trolls are dangerous.
That's probably
That's a
pretty
safe
safe.
assumption. Yeah, that's accurate.
He uses multi-attack and makes 2 attacks with his great club.
Of course he does.
So that's 20 to hit on the first one.
Yeah?
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's some party members that might not.
And then that's 25 to hit on the second.
Yeah.
That troll knows how to hit you.
Shield.
Don't you wish?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
shield.
gangster.
With my shield.
I cast shield with my shield. It's a spell focus shield.
So you take 14 bludgeoning damage as he comes over the top. You just barely dip out of the way. It slams the ground near you, and he just immediately picks it up again and does this cross swing, flinging mud across the landscape, and just happens to nip your shield in your shoulder and bounce off, barely deflecting it. And he just kind of just sits there and gets ready to strike you again. Yep.
Nice.
That ends his turn.
That makes it. Sorry, I'm looking at my own character stuff for what I want to do. Fuck! It's my turn.
It's you.
It's almost like you were getting ready. Good job.
Can I get the pointer? So, what I would like to do is move up. Actually, can you get me within 30 feet of him?
I think you already
Of
are.
what?
30
10,
foot of
15,
cone.
20, 25. You're already within 30 feet, so what are you
Yeah.
trying to do?
So, so I'm going to hit Luthok, unfortunately, so there's no doubt about that. Am I hitting anyone else besides
You
Luthok?
could do something that wouldn't hit your
Oh,
teammate.
it's not damage.
It's not
It's not
damage.
damage.
It's not damage.
Either way, it's like...
Nah, he wants Luthok to suffer.
So,
Come on.
So
I know
what
what
are
he's
you trying to do?
I'm
I'm trying to metagame around me, figuring out what's happening.
I'm going
What
to
are you
cast
trying to do?
Fear on those three.
Okay, so you need a 20-foot cone, correct?
30 foot cone.
30-foot cone. So
30 foot cone. So if there's a way for me to hit those three without hitting Luthok, I'll take it.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
That's where I'm like, not. And
But
so,
being afraid of your team, your party member is not
the end of the
a big
universe.
deal.
Fear has different effects. You're
Yeah,
not
it
feared.
does.
You have to flee the battlefield.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So
What's your wisdom, by the way, Alex?
Oh, God.
if you get right in front of Alfarius, you could hit green and white without hitting Alex.
I'll take it.
So 5, 10, 15. That's why I was like,
you
tell me
won't
what you
hit
want
all
to do so
three.
that I can measure.
That's
and stuff.
Unless
so,
you want to hit
yeah, I
all
mean, help
3.
you.
You see,
Unless you want to hit all 3 of them.
yeah, I can't, which is fine. So you see,
Well, you could. You would just hit me.
which I'd rather you not run from the battlefield.
Hey, if they run, it's not
So
right.
I slowly began a walk
I'm not.
as I began clacking my cane up to behind Alfarius. As you see me use my cane and wave my hand, as you see a heart beating in my hand, as you hear me whisper, so that everyone can hear, let your fear take your mind, let your nightmares envelop your vision, and run, flee, show fear. As I do, I wave my hand and the heart explodes, but instead of blood, it's shadows that seep into the fog and slowly begin to form in front of each the 2 trolls' vision as I cast fear.
Yeah.
I need them to make DC 15 wisdom saving throws. Yep.
Solid.
Are they dumb? Are they dumb?
Against the
Are
troll.
they dumb?
I'm hoping.
Are they dumb?
You ever heard of the ancient troll scrolls?
So they
of
both
wisdom?
Yes. Okay. When frightened by this spell, a creature must take the dash action and move away from you by the safest
I
available
wouldn't have
route
made it.
on each of its turns. I would have gave you inspiration.
Okay.
Is what I was going to do.
So-
Unless there is nowhere to move. If the creature ends its turn in a location where it does not have line of sight with you, the creature can make another wisdom saving throw.
There is nowhere to move.
And then with that, I reach out and Luthok, now it's time to strike, and you feel inspired to hit a little bit harder next time, or hit a little bit more truer.
Inspiration.
Can you just tell them I'm giving you bardic inspiration?
Yeah, Bardic Inspiration. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be flavorful. God.
You can do both,
The flavorful thing was when you're like, Luthor, da-da-da-da-da. And
Yeah.
you say, I give you
Bardic
I give you
inspiration.
a Bardic Inspiration.
It's like the flavorful stuff can apply just to stuff that's happening in
Yeah.
the game.
All right.
And then you can,
So,
That was good.
so
yeah,
green,
that was dope.
So green and white.
Confetti.
Are feared.
Confetti.
That will end my turn, making it. Actually, do they take that immediately?
So I think
No,
it was
on
their
their
turn.
Turn.
They take the dash action. That would be
Yeah.
their turn.
On each of its turns. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Cool. I want to just make sure. Alfarius.
Fabulous.
Get my reactions back.
That's ruthless.
Well, you weren't surprised.
No, I wasn't surprised.
No.
Yeah. I still get my reactions back.
Yeah,
Please.
technically you get your first reaction.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. He is soulless.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely,
actually, yeah.
I'm definitely pleased with what I see
Oh, here you go.
coming from.
Yeah, so you see Phelan cast this spell that you recognize the incantations as being the fear spell. Mm-hmm.
Definitely pleased by this.
Yeah.
Definitely pleased by this.
Good.
Good.
So green is about 5 feet in front of you, and then orange is off to your left. Character's left, your right, and so is white about 15 feet back. You can stand up and look if you want. It's not a big deal.
I didn't need to look too much. I'm going to get on this side so I can attack with advantage.
It can be advantageous.
5, 10. Yep. Okay.
And I'm going to start with a bonus action. As I move to the side, seeing how hard they hit, I cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Already in my hand.
I sure am.
It's almost like he was ready for that too. He had that counter ready. He was like, oh, he's gonna use this.
And then with my shield in my one hand and my long sword in the other, I make 2 simple attacks.
Okay.
2 modest. That would be a miss, but didn't get better because I have advantage. No. So one was only 11,
That's a miss.
15, or 12. So 22 to hit
That's a hit.
for an impressive 12 slashing damage.
Very impressive. We're
That's
proud
gonna
of
be
you.
it.
All right. So as you come in with your sword, sweeping underneath the great club of green as he's trying to get ready to attack Luthok. You just stab straight up into the armpit. You see blood start gushing out, like leaking out of it, and then you come around, slash the back of the kneecap, and he kind of stumbles, and its knee dips into the earth.
So your turn. And my turn is done.
Two things. One, next is going to be white. Also, the two that I frightened, we're supposed to drop anything that they're holding too.
Okay.
I didn't know if they were wielding a weapon or not. It was just an extra statement. So
Sure.
I was rereading it to make sure I had everything right. White is up.
All right. So white, seeing the image of something terrifying, immediately throws its great club to the ground and turns and starts fleeing to clamber over the cart nearby. So let's see how much. Let's count their. Let me double check their movement again.
And dash.
And dash, yeah.
So 60 feet. So,
He'll be right back. What were we afraid of?
Whoa!
so you watch as White just turns and starts running into the mire, just throws over the cart, knocks shit out of the way. No, it's there! And just starts fucking taking off, and it's gone.
It was a bath.
Yeah,
It was a bath. That's what it saw. No, not a bath!
That's White's turn.
Singing Spear.
He's going to come to the back of Orange, and he's going to pick on Orange again, because apparently nobody else will. So, I mean, I'll take on the big guy, I guess.
So do you just want to get advantage on the side
That's
here?
what I'm going for.
Okay.
I just want to get advantage. I want to bounce off this big guy.
There you go.
All right. We're going with the spear strikes first. Nope.
Did you roll with advantage?
Yeah, you got
No, I rolled with advantage.
Oh,
It wasn't good.
Oh, yeah.
You rolled a little bit.
Okay.
I rolled the baby dice.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 14, which I know
miss.
does not hit.
Yeah. That's a miss.
If you want, I
There we go. That's going to be a hit on a 26.
That's a hit.
That baby dice is rolling hot, dude.
Oh, hot.
Oh,
Hot baby
rolling
dice.
Hot baby dice.
That's going to be a whole whopping 8 piercing damage. And then we're going to spend another key point
Key points.
on Flurry of Blows.
Ooh.
And I'll flavor all of this once I'm done. Okay. That one wanted to go over there. 19.
19, that's a hit.
All right. Here we go. I rolled 2 6s last time. We got to go back to average now. Let the little guy go. So that's going to be 5. That should be a hit too. That's 16 plus 23. And another 8 bludgeoning damage. And this time, I want to pop this guy with a dex saving throw on a DC 14.
DC 14.
What type of monk shenanigans is this?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it flavored.
Oh,
I've got it flavored. I've got it flavored. It's still way
Passes.
open. Passes. Okay, so the seeing the orange troll that I kicked in the face, really picking on Luthok, and seeing my opportunity, I slink in behind him, and I go to strike him, and on the first strike, I like miss him in his shamble. I like right in between the arm and and like the body.
And he just shifts, and he's like,
Yeah. I pull it back, and then I stick him just like like Aragorn and Lord of the
Straight
Rings,
into the
just
rib
like
cage.
right in the rib cage. Just
Yeah.
oh Jesus! And as he recoils from it, I pull it back out, and I stick the shaft between both his legs, and I go to like wrench on him to like get him to fall over, just like pivoting on his where his knees bend, just like trying to get him to fall. And I like strain his knees a little bit. He starts to hurt, but he won't budge. He won't go down on me.
Yeah, so you just go and you're like, oh, you twist as hard as you can, and it's just like, it reaches back to try to like grab you, but it can't quite reach you. You just deftly kind of jump back out of his reach. And then he's just like, oh, kill tasty elf. Okay, is that your turn?
Turn.
Lynn.
Right.
Use all the magics.
All the magics.
All of them.
All the magics. Magic.
Right.
Let's see how Mother Nature feels about trolls.
They sync up the environment.
Yeah.
All right.
They're physical
so,
pollution.
That's pretty savage.
I'm going to move right over here.
Where you going?
She's going
right
right
there.
next to Theo, and it looks
In
like.
front of that bush.
In front of that bush, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Frostbite on this troll.
Okay.
Right here. Okay.
That's safe, correct? Or
Okay.
Constitution?
It is a Constitution saving throw of 15.
15?
It's a con save?
Passes.
Well, fuck it.
That's about all I have to say. about
That is what she would say. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck this guy.
All right.
Bad news.
So
Oh, that was
it's
a killer roll.
9. Well, it has to be half of that
It's 4.
because it's passed. So it's 4.
4 damage?
Yes.
It's half rounded down. Everything. Rounded
Yeah.
down.
That was
Four.
a killer roll too. That was a good roll.
Yeah.
So I kind of scooch on over. I kind of do that boop boop boop,
Mhm.
and I kind of
Boop, boop.
point my spear
Mhm.
and say,
Do you kind of, or do you point your spear?
well, I kind of.
General direction.
That explains
It's not-
the miss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
kind
not
of.
a quiet
I was
point.
like-
It's like a
I was trying to think of a funny thing to say, be like, oh,
Chill out.
let me
Chill out.
let me chill you out, but it kind of
Cool off.
distracted me.
Cool it.
But I was able to get some of it.
That's
And
what it
then
was.
it's-
You got too excited about your delivery, and you were like, "I froze." Damn it.
Right?
Yeah, she's like, Nicole never bothered me anyway.
Let it go.
So, as you attempt to cast the spell, you end up kind of dipping further in the muck than you anticipate, and it throws it off and just barely glances off of the troll.
All right, and that ends my turn.
Luthok!
Give it back.
Moonblock, Tyrion's actually behind him.
Yeah.
And
Coming to save you, buddy.
20 years
Old
trying to
point
kill
here.
this thing before
Hey,
I get a
easy
chance
on the
to.
old point here, okay?
Well, all elves are fucking old compared to everybody else.
Well,
right?
compared to you, yeah. Your lifespan's like, what, 10 days?
Yeah, so he was yelling at me, and I heard him say, "You're an elf," and I turned around and I see him stabbing him and shit. And I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, he yelled at me, I go, "Ugh!" And I yell back at him. And I step into his space, and I just start hacking at him with the axe.
Like hacking at his leg, like you're trying to cut him down.
Yeah. Elf doesn't beat me, kill faster! 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
Alright, so I deal 7, 8, 9 points of slashing damage.
9 points.
And that's my first attack. And
Get him!
oh,
so
so
close.
close! 26, son of
That's
a
a hit.
gun. 12 points of slashing damage.
12 points.
Yeah.
Question your life choices.
And he gets hit by the warp. The warp of the planar energy. And I hear it resonates.
So as you go to hit him, you come in. The first one, you yell at him, battle rage. First clicks in, just goes like halfway through the kneecap into the leg, just cuts in. You yank it out, come around again, come back to the other side, and cleave the leg straight off, and it just falls to the ground. Boom! Just slams into the ground.
Dead.
I am my turn.
That will make it green.
Hand it off to the troll. Troll, get in there.
I moved up.
I got it. I appreciate the thought, but
Wait,
What?
Where'd the troll go?
You grabbed orange.
I know. You killed him.
Oh,
Killed him?
yeah.
Well, I mean, you
thought
took
just
his
chopped
leg
his
off.
leg off. I thought it was like standing there hopping.
Well, I mean, you're talking like a tree trunk leg. I'm sure he bled out quick.
Oh, yeah, then it's green.
Yeah. So green, we'll just handle it this way. All three of you get attacks of opportunity as he flees. So let's see if that kills him before I bother making him run. So as he turns and he's like, "Oh no, stay away, and he just starts running away.
Oh, crap!
Do I have advantage?
With brutal critical.
No, you don't. There's no
Yeah, but I do because I'm across from him, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You're flanking means
Brutal
somebody has to be on the other side.
Does 15 hit?
Can you brutal?
5, 9,
He's an orc.
half orc skill.
No.
Then I will spend
So
it.
I
Bardic
get-
Oh wait,
Inspiration.
yeah, no, 15 does hit. Sorry.
Well, I already rolled it, so.
15.
15 hits. Looking at the wrong one.
Plus 2, right? You
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 15. 15 points of slashing damage.
15.
With my brutal critical.
Brutal.
I do 15 points of slashing damage. Because I can.
Well, not all of us cheat, right? With magic.
I didn't use magic. I used sheer skill.
Mr. Fullcaster.
Let's roll.
Oh, I hit with it's up there. It's like a 26.
Okay, that's it.
That's
Damage.
gonna be for God, I'm adding high numbers now. That's gonna be 10 slashing and then 16 radiant as I
Well, he's gonna
Throw
drop
a smite in.
a smite in on him.
not to be outdone.
Son of a bitch.
Not to be outdone with the lowest damage.
Yeah, I reach in and just kind of and pull back.
I'll spend that slot.
Bursting. It's bursting right there.
Okay. So
How much damage did you
15
do?
points of slashing.
15.
10.
10. Okay.
16 more.
So,
So as it
and then
turns to
16
flee,
more.
it swings one arm wide, and Alfarius just reaches up, cuts it off, goes flying into the air, and it just kind of like raw grabs it. And as it tries to starts kind of limping away, Luthok just like runs up his knee, jumps up the front, and just carves his battle axe just square into its face, breaking it in half. You hear the bone shatter and the mush just start falling apart, and it's just sitting around this figure. One of its eyes is just completely busted open by the battle axe.
Yeah.
Nose misshapen, gore. Its tusk gets cracked and falls off. And Thalen runs in, slides underneath, and stabs straight up through the chest plate, finesse with his cane sword, and stabs it right in the heart, and it just starts falling forward dead.
You guys triple killed that guy.
Triple kill.
That's a triple.
combo.
That's a third of a kill for each of you, just for the record keeping points.
You know what? I'm just gonna say we each get a kill.
A third of a kill is like being half proficient. It's not a thing.
No, it's called being awesome at everything.
I got mine.
So does that end combat? Does that end combat?
Does it?
I don't
I'm
know.
asking Jesus.
It goes
Whose turn is it?
Oh,
Pretty
Right,
sure.
sir?
Reagan.
I look down, a little disappointed.
Don't be careful what you ask for, dude. I'm just.
Oh my God! You cast a spell. Whoo! I'm ready.
I have 2 spells, you know?
There
It's just...
there is one that thinks it can get away.
Alright,
I can fly.
can I see the other one from this advantage, or is it too
No,
thick
he
out there?
fucking took off, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
too murky, plus the fog, you can't see it
I
anymore.
figured.
You probably still hear him screaming.
Oh,
Oh God!
Alright, so I have 60 feet of movement while I'm flying, so I'm gonna move down and towards the entrance of the cave and just kind of land past the fighting and where in front of the group, just kind of at the mouth of the cave. Not really intending to get inside. Yeah, right about there.
35.
And I'm kind of hovering just above the water.
Okay.
At least you get to not get wet.
Yeah.
That's a good burn of a spell slot.
That's always a plus.
And I'll just take the ready action in case I see something hostile. And
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking shoot it with an Eldritch Blast.
Alright. Who's next?
That's gonna make it orange. He died.
He died. He's
And it's
gone.
gonna be my
So
turn.
Orange, you watch as his leg grows back immediately, and he stands up, lifts himself up. The damage being done to it beginning to regenerate immediately as he turns to attack.
Trolls.
I find this hilarious.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, trolls.
yeah.
So he makes 2 attacks with his.
Why you guys
This
so
is great
quiet on
clue.
that side? This is joy now.
I'm just like, what the fuck? He can regenerate.
So that's 20 to hit on the first, and a miss on the second.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast that sucker.
So that's.
Yeah.
Roll your attack.
Watch out for Palpatine. Here comes Palpatine.
Put
Watch
it- Put it back to the ground.
out. Put him down. Kill him now.
I got 2 now. That's right. Level 5. Sweet. Both of them going straight at him.
Okay.
Ah.
I'll buy that.
That's 8 plus 7 and 17 and a 15.
So a 15 misses.
Okay, so
The 17 hits.
get away. It's a better roll anyway. That's gonna be 9 force damage.
Okay.
As I kind of land in front of the thing, hear the thing, and just the first blast goes off too early, and then the second one I kind of.
So as it stands up and you turn and throw the Eldritch Blast, responding to this thing just coming back to life suddenly, the one, because of the immediate speed and reaction time, just goes real wide and misses. But the other hits it, strikes it square in the midsection and blows a huge part of it, sending gore and chunks out flying out onto your party members.
Covering Luthok.
But
Perfect.
it's still coming over the top
Just like
with its
they
great
like.
club attacks to crush Luthok.
Yep.
So it's going to be 8 bludgeoning damage because he hits you.
Ooh.
And that ends his turn.
So mad.
So you're standing in victory over the other troll that you've slain, and then you just suddenly feel crack across the whole of your back as you get thrown into the mud and you flip over to see this fucking almost barely alive fucking troll just standing over you, slowly like trying to lug its fucking great club up again for another attack.
With its little baby leg growing.
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yep. Deadpooled it.
Initiative track.
Me,
Okay.
my turn. I do things.
You
Well,
do things.
I look at the body of the one we just killed.
Mhm.
Oh shit! So I step and walk away from the one we killed.
Okay.
About 10 feet. I'll do 10 feet back and like.
Okay.
And then I'll do 1-5 to the right. Or the other right. Yeah. Perfect. Sorry. Yeah. And then I kind of rub my hands together, and I just kind of, your friend Sophia, you will feel it. And I cast Dissonant Whispers on Orange. I need a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
That's really picking on that whiz.
Passes?
Ooh, damn, he's good.
Nat
He's
17.
passed, he's been passing all sorts of.
There's the reason he's the one standing.
Yeah, but he was the big one too. So I mean,
He's the chef.
he's the big boss. No, they said something about a cook.
Is the cook
I
inside?
don't know. We're about to find out. I'm gonna go in there.
He takes 5 psychic damage.
5 psychic.
5 psychic damage.
So-
my head.
So it reaches up and starts like grabbing its head, and it's like, oh, head hurt, and then it just kind of slumps again and falls into the ground.
Using my free action, I would like to say a question out loud, which is, okay, chances are he's getting up again. Anyone else know how to kill the bloody bastards?
Burn him.
And my turn. That then brings it up to Alfarius.
Oh, the pointer. Cool pointer. Yeah, awesome. We were. I'm gonna move somewhere where I can use my fire breath and not hit friends. on the one that should be there.
Okay.
That's up one step back, really.
Would that work?
15-foot cone.
Yeah, it's a 15-foot cone. Matter of fact, I would even move back some, or
Isn't the body submerged underwater right now?
No, it's not submerged
I'm
underwater.
sure there's some sticking up.
Yeah, there's it hasn't shown any signs of regrowth or coming back.
That one hasn't?
No.
Keep an eye out.
But orange has.
Orange did, but it doesn't look to be doing any of that now.
So you just hold your action to do it?
Oh heck no, that's not the case. I'm going for the head. I'm gonna cut the head off that troll that's right near me.
Okay.
Joke's on you. It's a Hydra.
Hydra troll.
I have one head too much.
You don't need to make an attack roll.
Yeah,
No.
cool.
No, so you go up, you start hacking at it, bam, chop it off, and yeah, rip free.
So, this is after. I'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
Your turn?
Oh yeah, I kick it away. I'm like, grow this back.
Yeah. As tiny arms and legs sprout from the head. He starts running around like a bobblehead.
That's scary.
All right, yeah, that's scary.
Everybody needs to pass a fear check. Everybody pass a fear check now.
And thus a goblin was born.
Yeah. So,
His
The
wife's
cycle of
turn,
life
who is
and death
currently running
continues.
for his life.
yeah, he's gone.
Then it goes to Mr. Thing Spear.
Singing fear.
Thing is fear.
Thing
Hearing about the cook is going to go into the cave.
So brave.
So brave.
So valiant.
We're just gonna hear.
I guess we fly out.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so as you run into the cave, you see it slopes and goes down gently and kind of bends around the corner. And as you come in and look, you see that there's like a whole bunch of just what looks like mainly filth and garbage has kind of been piled up in multiple areas.
Trolls.
But you see a large cooking pot in the center of the room, and in there, leg shackled to a spike sticking in the ground, you see a gnome. Dirty and grimy. And he's like putting herbs and things into this pot and cooking. And he like sees you come in and he goes, oh my! Who are you? And then you
Hello?
can say something as part of your turn.
I'm Singing Spear. Would you happen to be a gnome named Thimble?
I have a cousin third times removed that's named Thimble, but I'm Dimble.
You're Dimble? I think that's the name I'm looking for. Do you know a woman by the name... I only know her by the Whisper of Beasts, so I don't remember her name.
That's a funny
A druid.
I know a few druids. Can you please be more specific?
Do you work with mushrooms?
Well, I mean, if it fancies it, yeah. If I need to.
Perfect. I'm gonna free him.
So you walk over to him and give me a strength check.
Strength check. Oh man, that's scary.
Ooh,
17.
So you go over and you look at this ankle chain for a moment and you just hit it with the spear and it just click, just pops right open and he just immediately starts like rubbing his leg and you can see that like he hasn't been wearing any shoes and it's raw and it's like the skin is peeling off of his ankle where he was connected to it.
Are you able to walk, Dimble?
Yeah, I think I can manage it.
Okay. We're looking for
Puffball.
I think there's a Metacrow in here.
There's a whole murder of them.
We're looking for some mushrooms. The supposedly they have healing abilities for skin rot.
Well, I've never heard of anything like that, but if you're looking for mushrooms, you should probably check right over here where the trolls normally sleep. And as you kind of look over, there's this packed den just with all kinds of garbage and filth that's just been piled up in like these makeshift like kind of beds. Like there's clothing and everything tossed over there and like broken pieces of crate and boards and tules and stuff that have been ripped out of the ground and thrown over there. And you can see growing on the walls is like a large string of like red mushrooms with these like black and blue spots on them.
Wonderful. I go over there, I grab one, and then I look at him and I say, the rest of my party is outside. Please stay behind me. There were some trolls that I'm sure you know. I'm not sure if they're still dead or not. And I didn't want you to die.
Okay. I need you to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I do!
You do.
I do.
So,
wow. That's so
you-
surprising.
As you touch this mushroom and you like pop it off, it immediately shoots out like this set of spores that start to settle on your body and go into your mouth, and you can start to feel this burning sensation, and you start to become dizzy and start to feel sick to your stomach as you're touching it.
Nasty.
And then he shouts out, "No, don't handle him by," and he goes, "With your bare hands." Okay, so is that your turn?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Deep breaths.
yeah. Holding my breath. I'm gonna use my free action to hold my breath.
You kind of already used it to peel to free him from his shackle.
Oh, that's true.
Talk to him.
And
Yeah,
talk
to
to
him. Yeah. I don't have anything else I can do. Oh,
Okay.
are we gonna come back outside or? Yeah, is that next turn?
It's probably next turn.
Next turn. Okay.
Alien.
You like,
Here we go. Letting.
so as you're kind of looking around, you're observing and looking at trolls, and you're like, "Yeah, that's right. They regenerate sometimes."
Yeah.
Maybe I should have
Yeah.
warned my teammates that happens.
No, I would have
You
thought
get
they
the
would have
distinct
known.
feeling that the other one isn't going to be getting up anytime soon. It used what little regeneration that it had for the moment, and you fucking out damaged its. I don't know what that would be. I'm gonna say metabolism.
Okay. I think we'll be okay. Did you guys not know that they I don't think you guys knew. Well, anyways, all right. I start proceeding. Like, come on, fellas, to the troll caves.
Okay. So, and with that, we are now out of combat and into a role playing.
Yay!
Yeah, we killed
Going
trolls,
down.
guys! We did it! Yay!
Trolls.
I immediately grab the troll head, and I walk over and I find one of those posts. Yeah, sorry, thank you. I grab one of those posts and I take out my rusty spoon.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Rusty spoon.
Why do you have a rusty spoon?
You about
Rusty spoon
I'm inside. I don't know what's about now.
for the ancient orc tradition of Genrook. And I take the spoon and I rip out one of its eyes. And I take its head and I put it on one of the smaller trees that's there. I just put it on top. And then underneath it I take its troll bloodedness. And I write underneath orc territory as I claim it for the horde.
Alright.
Then I follow the little girl.
Alright.
Yeah.
So you come outside with Dimbledon, and as you're standing over there, you see Shal emerge with this tiny little gnome who's covered in filth and looks like he's been like malnourished and tired and worn out, and he's hurt, and his skin is like rotting and falling off, and it's just like he's been living in filth for weeks at this point. It looks terrible.
I would like to add also that I don't look really well either, and I'm holding a very fancy mushroom in my hand.
Yeah.
As you come walking up, and I go, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't make me feel good.
Dimble! And I just ignore him.
Okay.
Dimble.
Cool.
I like it.
You're dying, by the way.
So I go up to
So he-
Dimble.
So he's like, "Oh, Elaine, my friend, you were the one that the elf was talking about.
Yeah.
You said the druid that I knew. It just wasn't specific enough for me to picture who it could have been."
I know, I can't believe he doesn't remember my name. But anyways.
Well, that's
Are
very
you
rude of him.
okay? Are you okay?
No,
Like-
not really.
Do you need berries? And I go into my
I've
pocket.
been held prisoner by trolls for a few weeks now.
I go into my pocket and you see Reginald has like a handful of berries himself, and I have it with my hand. I'm like, please eat some berries,
He's
Reginald.
like, he just takes them and just starts scarfing them down, like in there, full mouth, chipmunk cheeks. He's just eating them, just going away.
Like, what happened? You were captive by trolls?
And he's
Did
just
I take the moment with him having his face shoveled, just shoveling his face, and I stick the mushroom in front of her face and go, "What is this?"
That looks like a puff. Oh no!
And
I look at him.
I'm like, "Why is the sheet and sweating?"
Yeah. Yeah, he looks ill.
So I want to do a medicine.
Almost like he's poisoned. But he's not, because he passed the save.
So I recognize that he has almost
That
been
was so
poisoned.
good.
Yeah. He's suffering from the effects of like inhaling and like overcoming nearly being poisoned by the puffball mushroom.
I smack the puffball mushroom out of his hand.
Do you really?
Well, I smack it, smack it, and I grab it.
You mean you grab it from his hand?
All right, so make a
No,
DC
no,
15
no,
Constitution
no,
saving
no,
throw.
no,
When you said I grab it, that's all I needed to
I
hear.
was going to.
You were gonna, but you didn't.
Fine. I must suffer from what I do.
Yeah.
I was a little dice.
That's
Little
right.
guys.
She's like, that's rolling hot. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, I don't doubt.
Roll,
So
please.
Constitution saving throw.
DC 15.
No. Fuck
You
your
were there.
DC 15.
You're there. No, you another way. Go back to there you go. Cons right there. Oh.
Come on, Mike. Roll on the table.
Oh yeah.
21.
All right, yeah. So as you smack his hand, he drops it. You catch it with the other hand, and then just immediately drop it.
Yep.
But it's too late. The spores start like coming off. Like as immediately as you make contact, they kind of just flutter off and it's peel off in this way because these mushrooms are very fragile.
And I kind of.
And then you just
push.
like immediately start getting them away, and you drop it on the ground. And you remember, I have a special kit for picking these.
Yep. And then I go into my pocket. I'm like, you have to be careful with these. You have to pick them at a certain way, and I take out. What do I take out? Well, what would help? Like, okay,
gloves, a respirator mask, you know, goggles.
See me with a mask.
Maybe I should have waited for you to come in the cave before I grabbed one. I just figured that you would want to see them to know if this is what we were looking for. But...
No, that's definitely it.
Okay.
Pick it up.
Okay.
So then.
And Dimble, he's done stuffing his face. He's like, I went out looking. People started coming down with skin rot, and I was short on ingredients, so I ran. I had to go into the mire. And when I was walking and looking, I remembered that there was a cave. This cave, as a matter of fact. And I was pretty sure it was abandoned, but it looks like it had new inhabitants take over. And I wasn't prepared for that. And they grabbed me and they captured me. And only from using my cunning intellect did I convince them that if they brought me stuff that I could make them really good food, and they kept me alive only to cook and make their food better.
Well, that was a smart move. Very smart.
I was very, very lucky that they were stupid enough to believe. And I knew just enough about the herbs and the spices and stuff that sometimes that they would bring from the wagons that I could and make do. And they were really happy for a while with it. And they fed me very little, but mainly I was just cooking people that they would capture with the caravans and carts.
Now I know this is going to sound weird, but the other animals had told me, and I am just going to be very curious. Do not take this as a different option or a different aspect, but did you try it?
No, I didn't.
Did you make it good?
I mean, I threw stuff in there, and they thought it was tastier than eating the slop that they normally eat and eating meat raw.
Okay, just curious. Well, anyways.
Either way, what brings you all the way out here? Why are you here?
Because
me.
I wanted to make sure you were safe. I was trying to contact you for many days.
Well, yeah, I was very much indisposed, as you can tell.
But
I really like this gnome. He's very polite.
But I'm also here to try and take a few puffball mushrooms because I do want to make an effective cure for the skin rot.
Did you find a way to make it better?
Yes.
Well, that's fantastic news.
And
the people of Fogbottom would be thrilled to hear about that.
Well,
maybe not so. Then I splash in the water. God damn
it! Speaking of Fogbottom, it looks like it's in bad shape.
What do you mean? What's happened?
Like the town is deserted.
It was fine when I left it. What'd you do to it?
The skin rot.
It's usually a fair
spreads
question.
fast.
Like really? Like is everybody there dead?
There's a small group still alive in the basement.
Like Nicholas.
And he stops for a minute. Yeah, I know Nicholas.
Like he's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive. Him and his grandson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good news then. That's unfortunate for everybody else who didn't make it. That's terrible news.
Yes, some of them have been affected by the skin rot, and there's just a zombie infestation. But we're trying to make sure everybody gets safely out. Trying to make sure that we can gather the cure. Might need your assistance with making some with me.
Oh, well, of course. I'll get to work right away using the new recipe. If you have all the alchemical components and things necessary,
yes.
I'm sure that combined with maybe anything that's left in my hut, we should be able to make the antidote for everybody.
And out of curiosity, Dimble, if you don't mind the extra assistance, I do need to try and gather some ingredients too. I was thinking if you might have some, or maybe know what they are.
Maybe we'd have to go, if we go back to my shack and I can, yeah, I should, it depends on what you have, but I have all sorts of ingredients there. Okay. I have everything.
Oh, shit.
Everything that grows naturally here in the mire.
I know I'm not like a forest person or anything, so I don't really have
have you looked at your reflection in the water?
Well,
you're most definitely a forest person.
Well,
you live in the wilds.
Yeah, but not like...
Your people are savages.
Yeah, but I mean...
I really like
the
this
plant, mixed herb person, but wasn't his whole little hut tossed?
What do you mean? What happened to my hut? What'd you do?
Wasn't it, destroyed?
Yeah.
Good
point. I blame you.
Why me? I came here to find you.
He's just saying if he has all this stuff in his hut, but his hut...
You were not this mean in the letters you have written me.
But wasn't his... Can't even do it with his hut basically being messed up.
Well, I don't know. I would have to
right?
see what's there now, wouldn't I? They're all right. Let me get my stuff that I was captured with out of that disgusting filth pen, and then I guess we can head out. And we'll go down there and you can gather all the puffball mushrooms that you need, and I'll help you out.
Is that like a weird herbalist 5-second rule or something?
Yes.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's gather some puffballs.
Yeah. And I do know that trolls are filthy, disgusting creatures, but they hoard everything. So you never know. You guys might be able to find something here amongst all these crates and garbage that might be of use to you.
I nudge up.
There was a nearby. The nearby trails are only just about 5 miles from here that lead to the lumber mills in Gliston. So whatever they were taking would probably be going between them and Anvil.
I nudge out there.
Who's got the list that Vana gave us?
I do.
Whoever has it. We should give it to him. He'll know where this stuff is.
Wow.
I have.
No, it's sorry, man. It's our crappy equipment. But,
Do you want the
Poison toad, blood moss, myrtle leaves, wolfsbane, nightingale.
and bison's grass?
Yes.
And bison grass.
Where are you going?
he's gonna go get some bison grass, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. He just gets stuff for us.
Don't question his
Do not question
But yeah,
the creator.
Someone fucking yanked it out of the socket.
But yeah, I nudge Alfarius and.
It's the wiring, man.
Do you want to start rummaging?
The cars?
And can we
Apparently the Wi-Fi's down. So
Wi-Fi's crappy.
Yeah.
What?
But not entirely down.
No, we're still streaming. That's all I care about.
But
troubleshoot my computer real quick.
I would like to go outside. And
You
look
are
at that.
outside.
You are outside. You know that, right?
I would like to go further outside.
Great outdoors.
I like the outdoors. I feel comfortable there. But I walk over to the other one that I killed.
Mhm.
That I killed for the record. And I'm gonna cut off its head, and I'm gonna say something to myself. You know, this didn't really feel like it. I don't think this was it. As I start like prepping it, and I'm like, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to take a trophy from. It doesn't feel right. As I start putting it up on a post instead of like claiming its parts.
Your ways are very strange to me, Lofak, and I want to go over and start examining the wagons.
You're
This guy wanted to help you.
Dimble, you're
I was already
an
trying to give it
alchemist
to him.
of sorts.
Oh, you are?
No, I'm an herbalist.
That's his head.
Okay, but you have a sort of an understanding of the alchemy.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, the basics necessary in order to provide some of the healing ointments and potions necessary. But mainly, I just gather things and then ship them out, and they get sent out for sale in other markets.
Right. So I've heard somewhere that troll bits make for healing components.
Well, I mean, they can under the right circumstances.
I mean, like I walk over and lift a wrist.
No,
Like, no.
no, it's already dead. It's no use anymore. You have to get them while they're shedding.
Yeah. All right, fine.
We really want to do an investigation roll, God? We're trying to investigate.
Yeah.
And see if
Go
we
ahead.
can find some stuff inside of a wagon.
Sure.
Whoa, I don't.
I do. Maybe.
Good job.
Internet. 1 moment.
Yeah, it's just not working at the moment. It's frustrating.
I want everybody to know this. I rolled a 0.
17.
Because I have a -1 to investigation, and I rolled a 1.
That's beautiful.
I rolled a
Yeah.
0, people.
Yeah,
you can't
so-
even do that.
It's kind of weird that you're so good at discipline, mental fortitude, but like focusing and searching for stuff, not so much.
That's when stats, it's a stat-based game.
He doesn't have the
That's
attention
weird.
span
And
necessary.
So,
stats don't really make sense.
None of it's really
As
important
As
to
you,
me
as you
anyways.
guys kind of toss the carts and look through them, it looks like most of everything has already been like torn apart. It looks like it's mainly just cloth and textiles that were being shipped or moved around. You find some grain sacks that are already rotting and filled with insects. There's a busted open like old ale keg, but you don't really see anything of direct value per se.
I think you guys are going about this all wrong. You don't hoard stuff outside. As I walked into the cave to look through the piles of crap.
As you walk by, I'll be like, "Don't touch the mushrooms."
I follow him inside.
Don't touch the mushrooms.
Okay. How dry is it in there?
I don't think it's very dry.
How dry?
Yeah.
Like the
No,
ground.
it's pretty moist and wet because it's kind of
Moist.
down in
Moist.
It's down in the miners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not like standing
Damp
in,
for sure.
standing in mud.
Sort of, yeah. Filth,
Yeah.
feces, urine, whatever trolls, eggs,
Whatever
seed
comes
from
out of
the
them.
boss,
Slime.
vomit, whatever.
Fair enough.
That's why I came back out.
I'm not going in.
That and I was trying to get high on mushrooms and it didn't work well.
But,
Or did it?
Or did it? I don't know. Almost died? I
Did
mean,
you
that
come
could-
out of the cave?
Some say
I
that
did
could be
come-
I mean, hey, I got a potion that might get you there.
I'm just gonna jump into that little that whole collection of mushrooms. Just jump into it. I'm just gonna go for a swim.
But yeah, I would like to investigate inside the cave for stuff they would have hoarded, like anything that they would have hoarded inside.
I am assisting him with this.
I'm getting puffball mushrooms.
You rolled a 1.
Hey, I'm cunning. I'm not smart.
So whose investigation modifier are we using?
Oh, we're using yours.
Okay, probably a good call. I rolled a 14. Plus 4 is 18.
Oh yeah, we're using yours.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2 and I have a -1. So
Oh, that's good.
This town cop is gonna find the goods.
Did I find some puffball mushrooms? Is that what happened? Like, oops. My
Just
bad.
rub your face in them.
well,
This feels
No,
good.
an assisted check is whoever rolls with advantage, and you use whoever the primary roller is as stats.
Well, I was assisting him. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how assisted rolls work.
Yeah.
You say, I'm making the investigation check, I help, you get advantage, and that means that you're using
Oh.
that you're rolling.
Okay.
So that's how it works. And it works the same thing for group checks, basically. It's pass or fail based on the total of the group. But,
Okay.
All right, so you guys go down in there, and you kind of using like your weapons and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I
these
definitely
old rags,
create a
getting
freaking
away.
pike.
You dig through like these tossed over bones, and for the most part, you don't see anything really of value. There's like studded leather armor and leftover pieces of like guards that might have been attached to caravans that they drug here or feasted on. But you do tap something hard, and it looks like it kind of sunk into the mud. Maybe it's been stepped on a few times. Is this box, this very ornate little box that has kind of like these arcane runes and like an indication of ownership. There's a name on the front that says Fremont, and it has like a little lock on the front, and you just kind of real quick bash it with the back end of your
What did it
weapon
say?
as you sort of Fremont.
Sorry, Fremont.
Yeah. And when you open it, there's a very, very ornate and well-made little like canvas bag that has arcane runes on it.
I like the sound of this.
And you kind of pick it up and feels basically weightless.
So I open it and look inside. Does it look just like a
It
canvas
just
bag?
looks like a canvas bag.
Is it? If I dump it out, see if there's anything in there.
No, there's nothing in there.
All right.
And Luthok, you're like just tearing through shit because you don't give a fuck. You're like, I've slept in worse.
Yeah.
You're just like grabbing through it and yanking shit out. And as you're doing
in my
so,
mind, this is all my
So,
shit.
like,
you,
That
it
claim-
looks like there's
Get
this.
back
It
to
looks like basically, so you're tearing through it and you find like this pile of like weapons and stuff that have just been haphazardly like thrown in the fucking corner. Most of them are disgusting or rusted. But as you grab one and you're examining it, you realize that it's very, very beautiful sword. It's just amazing looking, and its craftsmanship is just on par with some of the best weapons that you've ever carried. It's light and it's finesse, and it kind of just fits in your hand just the right way.
Obviously, someone with more money than fighting skill.
So I come up behind him with the bag, kind of inspecting it, and then I just wave a hand, and all the crud comes off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah,
That's pretty.
And it's inlaid with it's this beautiful sword, and it's kind of inlaid in the handle with almost like a Damascus feather passion with these gold leaves that are just inlaid into the handle.
I think this is the most fancy thing I've ever held.
Looks like it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, good thing I claimed this territory, and so I have eminent domain over anything inside it.
But then on top of that, digging through all the clothing and everything, you guys find about 125 gold pieces, 60 silver pieces, and about 10 copper pieces.
Okay, so that's
just through the various pockets and pieces and money.
Party fun.
Party fun.
The
Party
Bank
fun.
of Riken.
The Bank of Riken.
That's a bad bank. I would not put my money.
He keeps your money safe.
It's safe. It's safe till he
It's
bails.
safe till he
What
spends
are
it.
you doing
Never spent.
Oh.
at the moment?
Yeah, are there were there any excess
140
body
gold, you
parts
said?
laying around?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah, there's an area there's where they kind of were for some reason hanging cloth and stuff, and you can see where there's a table and this hatchet where they would skin the meat off of the people, more than likely alive, while they were doing it, and then they would just toss the bones and the gore up top in this pile in the corner near the entrance, and then there's a whole bunch of cloth and just clothing and stuff that's been bundled up top there on this almost like one of those drying hanger lines.
Well, I'm gonna go around and find any excess pieces of travelers and throw them in that little pile area. And I'll take some extra cloth. Yeah, I'm gonna burn them all once everybody's all done inside.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
at 500 right now.
Yeah, so you find bits and parts, like a severed leg here, a toe there, and a thumb, and you're just kind of picking them up and taking them up there and throwing them into that pile with the rest of the bones. And while you're doing so, something catches your eye as you're doing it. You look and you're like, wait a minute, and you're like, that looked like a rock just a second ago. And as you're kind of looking at it, you walk over and you poke it with your sword, and there's this cloak hanging on the line that when you poke it and push it closer to the rock, it changes color to match the rock. And then when you let it go, it kind of just flops into the wind and changes back to a standard matte gray
I call
or
somebody
matte
over.
brown.
I call somebody over who's wiser. I believe smarter. Sing spear.
Come over.
I poke it.
Looking just awful.
Yeah, I just poke it. It's just-
You shouldn't stab that. That's a special cloak there.
Not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted. This right is over here. Yeah. The curses.
I was actually talking about the cat, but
Oh,
yeah.
that too. Alright, well, I take it off the wall.
Recon's doing
Oh,
accounting.
So you
line?
off the line. So you grab it and
Reckon
and it
accounting
immediately
services.
changes color and it
A lot more
goes
money
into
than
this
Richard.
flat green, and it's beautifully hand woven. The seams all fit perfectly. It's got this almost bronze trim on the outsides of all the edges of the hood, and as you kind of turn it and move at it, it has this sheen and changes color from darker to lighter, and you kind of are moving it around and looking at it, and it kind of mirrors the environment's general color as you're moving it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Shimmering.
Shimmer, just shifting is a better word. Shifting
Shimmering
color,
chickertash.
depending on where you're holding it and looking at it.
This is a very special garment you have, Alpharius. It will help you.
Oh, you recognize it immediately.
Mhm.
Elves wear it at their. It's a
Oh, yeah.
cloak of elven kind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I just throw it over one of my shoulders. I don't wear it. I just throw it over one of my shoulders. Somebody in the group is going to make good use of this.
Okay.
And I go back to picking pieces.
Yeah. So, as you guys kind of finish sifting through this filth and everything, you don't find anything else of value, anything that isn't rusted, worn out, broken, cracked, filled with trash, or covered in troll feces, and you gather all the puffball mushrooms that you need, and, you watch as he lights this funeral fire to, set these people to rest, and then we'll just okay, I'm ready to go now. How about the rest of you? I would really rather not see another troll for the rest of my life.
Well, one of them did run.
He's not going to be back.
I just wanted to let you know that there is one out there.
I guarantee there's more than one out there.
So we got the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Did we find any of the other? Did you give him the list?
Well, he said to wait till we go back into his shop.
I mean, we're already out here.
Well, once we get back with the stuff, we're gonna do another expedition, most likely, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Well, then, let's head. Let's head.
Talk. Hand over the gold.
Oh, I let you take it. I didn't take it.
Come on.
Take it.
I'm not giving you my gold.
Come on.
I know
If you want my gold, you'll get this sword, but not the way you like.
Sword.
You're not going to pay your territory tax?
Territory.
Taxation is theft.
Oh, I forgot. I thought claim this is his, huh?
Yeah. See the signs?
I did. Oh, those look amazing.
In the well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did
Plant
you
your
really have
flag.
to? Did you really have to make it so smelly? Like.
Trolls lived here. It was smelly before.
No, I know. It's just this is
It's
worse.
also a swamp. It's very smelly.
Did you urinate yourself?
No,
Did you
You should
mark the
imagine just having
territory?
to live in it for weeks.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
it's just how it is. It's not that big of a deal. It'll wash off as we walk back.
Actually,
I take a review over Lothak and I go, I'm pretty sure that's not just going to come off of you. I'm pretty sure you have it in all the cracks that you have.
I can clean him up a little bit.
I don't know if that's going to ever improve his general smell, but it would probably help with the smell at the
Wait,
moment.
who are we talking about?
Luthor.
Oh, him? No, I'm talking about the poor gnome who's been living in this for weeks.
Oh, he doesn't smell nearly as bad as Lothak does.
I don't like this comparison.
I thought we were talking about two different things.
Either way, on our way.
Yes.
And he starts like just walking back towards Fog.
Hey, Dimble, Dimble, Dimble.
No,
Well,
I
we
follow
can walk-
after
we
him.
can
He
walk
has an
and talk.
idea. Get the fuck out of here.
Don't be lead.
So, you guys arrived at the you arrived here at the Troll Den at about like close to just before maybe midday or so, and for the most part, it's way easier to find your way back since you're not trying to actively track the trolls. You know exactly which way, so you cut that time like in half. So it only takes you the better part of maybe an hour and like 20-25 minutes to get all the way back to Fog Bottom, which as you approach it, looks the same as you left it.
So it's like midday right now?
Yeah. On the march back, I hung out in the back of the marching order this time, just like looking around for creatures and stuff. Obviously, not finding anything.
No, not finding anything other than wildlife, lots of frogs and locusts and crickets just out and about.
So you hear me periodically cursing and saying, "Motherfucker," kind of thing. Until we get back to the town.
So you make your way back up to the Cunning Fox Ale House, and you. No, you guys want to stop by Dimble's first?
Yes.
Yeah.
might as well.
Yes.
So you go to Dimble, and he goes,
Stealthily.
and he's like, oh my god, my hut, and he just like runs into it.
Oh, no.
My hut, and he goes inside. You can hear him like kind of like cursing and stuff, and like yelling at you, like, damn things of the wild, and Bylethon, I swear vengeance upon those who would do wrong by me. And he's like, you can hear him like throwing papers and like grabbing all kinds of stuff, and finally he's like, oh well, thank God it's still here. And he goes and grabs this chair and puts it on the thing, goes up to his roof and shifts it, and then pulls down this heavy, he just kind of clambers down and brings it and drops it on the ground and kicks it open, and there's just a plethora of all sorts of bottled herbs. And he goes through the list and just, okay, yeah, I got everything. And he gives it to you. Neat.
I'm standing towards the back next to Thalen, and I'm like, you were worried we were going to attract the undead. As he makes all that noise.
Yeah.
You make a fair point.
Well, thank you very much, Dimble.
Of course. And here inside is an herbalist and an alchemical kit. We should be able to working on the antidote if you give me the instructions right away.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's do it at the end. We cleared it out, so it's mostly safe, even if we can't fit in the basement.
Oh, by the way, it's horribly dangerous. So are we ready to leave?
Absolutely.
Technically, commission's done. We found your little fella.
Oh, yes. But now we need to make the cure.
The cure. Are you going to stay back and help him make the cure, or just...
Well, I was thinking about making a few, because I did promise the mayor that I'd bring it back to him. So, but I do want to make sure that there's enough for the citizens of Fog Bottom as well. Do you guys mind if we take it? How long do you think it'll take? A day?
Probably depends. If you're trying to make enough doses for everybody, probably take a few hours
Oh,
to
okay.
cook up the salve and everything together.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, that's way faster than
Okay,
I thought it
because
would
I just
be.
want to do it for Fog Bottom before I don't know.
Can we also do for my companion, Miriella?
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
She didn't seem too well, so I'm pretty sure she needs it the most.
So I guess we should just kind of stand guard while they cook.
Yeah.
However that works.
All right. Well, you guys make your way to the basement, and you go down, and everybody's excited to see that you've made it back alive, and Malphony's super happy.
We're
And
alive,
everybody
guys!
welcomes
we
like
made it!
Dimble back, and they clear you out of workspace, and you work on it for a couple of hours, and then they brew a pot of the antidote for the skin.
Short rest?
Yeah, short rest.
During that short rest, can I approach Luthok?
You can do whatever you want.
Luthok,
You try.
Yeah.
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why did you carve the troll's eye out and stick it on a pike?
It's send them a message. Letting them know who the real boss is.
Is it kind of just asserting a dominance with like a sign type deal?
Well,
Kind of like this,
basically, we don't use confusing words and manipulation. We just tell them. So, you gotta speak to them in a language they understand.
interesting.
Seems crude.
Yes, that's the point.
It's crude and makes
easy
one
to
hell of a point.
understand. And then they see it and they don't think it's trickery. They just know exactly what it is.
It's similar to what I did
If-
when I showed them their worst fear.
If you overcomplicate it, they'll second guess it. You gotta make it simple, straightforward, to the point. Not to mention, you gotta let them know, like I said, who the boss is. The
Interesting.
ruinous power.
Good. Just general curiosity.
As you finish that sentence, you hear that voice again, that female voice again, like in the back of your head. It sounds like she's like right next to you, and she just says, "You don't have to be his toy."
What?
Are you alright, Luther?
Sometimes orcs twitch.
That seems like a strange thing.
I don't know. I'm just saying things.
Yeah.
And then you hear it in the opposite ear again as you like after you turn there, you hear you don't have to be a pawn in his schemes. You're more than that. And the room starts to get, the room gets a little bit cold.
I turn around and I kind of like look around, seeing if I can visually see anything, because this is.
Are you looking for something,
disconcerting.
Luther?
I just thought I heard something. Probably one of these villagers or something playing games.
I don't think anyone is playing games. You may need to rest.
Fine.
Did you take a hit?
I saw him get hit with a tree trunk more than a few times. I believe he needs a rest.
That was nothing.
Well, I mean, it may be nothing for you, being that you're a brute, but I can tell you there are many of my kind that I have watched go underneath the troll's branch and not come back out.
Yeah.
And if you're hearing things, it could be that, taking the tree branch to the head has caused you some issues. The paladin would know more. Alfarius! I think Lothak took a little too hard of a hit with a tree branch. You might want to examine him, see if he's well.
If I've been hit by a tree branch once, I've been hit by a tree branch 1,000 times.
Have you indeed?
I don't think that's a good thing to say.
I don't really keep track.
I don't think that. Well, I mean,
I'm saying it's common.
It does seem to be a common thing for you, at least judging by your intellect.
Either way, before Luthok says he hears more voices, just if you need anything, let us know, Luthok.
I do believe you need rest, Luthor.
Well, you guys did take a short one.
Yeah. I'm rested up fine. I'm ready to go back out, fight a hag or some shit.
Oh, that's true.
There's something out there in that swamp.
So as you guys are having this conversation, this back and forth, the basement door opens and Malfi comes back inside and comes down. Well, if there was a moment when we needed to leave, the fog is extremely light and cleared up at the moment, so it shouldn't be nearly as difficult to navigate the swamps. Nicholas, do you think that your brother's ready to go? And he's, if as long as the fog is fairly clear, it should be. We should probably go while it's clear.
Yeah, you heard the woman.
Well then,
Let's go.
How long is the travel to the Black Tree?
Through the barge, as long as we don't encounter any issues. Maybe he's like stroking his beard. Maybe a few hours at most.
We're looking at sundown. Now, sunlight isn't an issue for some of us in the party.
Well,
it's only
just afternoon. It's only like
it's like 2, right?
2 p.m. Yeah.
So we'd be getting there by 5 or 6.
So we'd have a couple hours.
So if we wanted, what we could do. No, the fog is rolled out. It would be best that we go now. It could not be. It could roll back in by next day.
It would be best if we go now.
It's a sign. The path is clear.
But maybe a path leading us somewhere we don't need to be.
Either way, look, you can come with me or not, but I'm fucking going and I'm taking the barge with me.
Well, guess we're fucking going with you.
Alright? I gotta go find my brother. We got it, we took care of the people, and now it's safe for us to go fucking kill Grenda for once and for all.
Yeah, if we're going, we need to go with that barge.
Yeah.
And let's go.
You don't want to be.
And then I give
walking through
and then
all
I
this
go up to Dimple and I'm like, take care of everything here.
Oh
We
yeah,
will
of course. Of course. I'll continue making more and I have the recipe and
Works good, right?
yeah, I mean
I'm a smart one.
it seems like I won't know until I actually can apply it to somebody with skin rot.
Rangren, how long's he been missing?
My brother? He's only been missing for 3 weeks, 4 weeks now.
Alright.
It's hard to put all time on when he went missing since he scouted ahead of me and was supposed to meet me back. But his overdue date now is at least 3 weeks at this point.
Alright.
But the post-dated letter does mean that he was alive a minimum of at least a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks ago at this point.
Let's kill a hag.
Let's go save your brother.
Yes, I agree.
Let's stop the spreadness.
That was just like,
out more.
I will follow you.
when
Whisper.
you're done, we go and we deal with the traitor. I'll be waiting here.
You
I'll be
see me
back.
hand one of the vials with you.
Hopefully.
Keep this with you to give to her in case something happens.
So, about that cloak.
Dimble's
Oh.
real quick. He's like, I keep these things for emergencies. You might want to take them with you. And he hands you 2 potions of greater healing. Neat.
All right, let's decide right now who's getting them, so we don't have a Lumi falling off the side of the planet and having all that stuff.
I honestly believe the meat should get it, realistically.
Yeah.
I'll take one.
And
Greater healing.
Alfaris takes one.
Fair 60 of them.
Because realistically, I can heal, she can heal, he's going to be flying, and he's hitting runs. So realistically, the meat's going to be getting smacked in the mouth. So you guys should heal.
And the cloak, I would definitely give it to the bard.
Yeah, I found it super cool.
I wanted to check out the sword. I'm going to be real here. If we're out of character.
No way,
I think
man.
he should have the
You're gonna stealth around more than I am, and you're gonna want.
I think he should
You
have
kind of want to negate the disadvantage of the
give
medium
them
armor.
the cloak. He will be the one more sneaky.
But he's good at sneak already, and he has disadvantage.
Well, either way. Well, let's first. I'm going to approach Luthok about the sword as we're walking, because I'm curious.
Alright.
Luthok.
Yeah.
You gotta get on this bark, so there is.
Yeah.
Well, we're
There's spare time,
Yeah,
so.
we're
so
moving.
Nick-
This story. is
Yeah, so
moving.
you guys go
Yeah,
out and
it's not-
Nicholas
it's not-
unties the barge, and it's just this flat boat. They're just these flat, basic. They're not even calling them a barge, is giving it a lot of credit. It's mainly like a large flat raft, and he still has some goods and stuff left on it. That they use these barges to cross over to the other small hamlets and villages, kind of scattered throughout the Trollclawmire and the immediate vicinity. And that most of the goods all get funneled through Fogbottom to those small hamlets and villages, which you're guessing and assuming they're probably not in any better shape than this one is at all. And he unties it, and you guys drift out, climb on board, and starts rowing you with the stick, just pushing you in as the fog is kind of cleared, and you can see that the water is still fairly murky, and it's also covered with this thin layer of like moss and growth over the top of it, lily pads. You can see that birds are up in the perches of these large these enormously overgrown, mossy mangrove trees, and their roots spreading out, making navigating a fairly it looks like a fairly skillful task for the most part. If you're not familiar with the routes and going through, you can see where it's easy to get lost. You look behind you and you've already lost track of like where Fog Bottom is in relation to like looking through the trees and trying to identify the direct sunlight coming in. Every once in a while you hear the water like move or shuffle, or you see a fish like pop out and jump back in. All kinds of flies and mosquitoes landing on you guys, trying to like smash them and get them off of you. But knowing what you're heading towards, overall, it's a calm and quiet and kind of peaceful existence. And so you wanted to approach him about the sword?
Yeah, I did. Luthok, I noticed that sword you had.
Yeah. Pretty nice, huh?
I'm actually quite impressed with it. It's.
I got it from my domain, I imagine that whoever had this was probably some rich dude that didn't really know how to fight, so he ended up dying.
Well, actually,
it's a beautiful longsword.
Yeah.
It looks very finesse, and it looks like it takes quite the skill to use, effectively, I should say.
Well, yeah, I'm a powerful warrior.
I think you're above it, really. You don't even need it. You need an axe, something that requires more effort and talent to use.
Well, you just swing it harder. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do you mind if I see it?
I feel like you're trying to play tricks with me.
I'm not going to bullshit.
You're trying to steal my sword.
I want the sword. I'm not going to lie. We're friends. I'm going to be honest. I want to use the sword. It looks like it would fit me well, and I'm curious. At least I want to touch it and hold it and see if I like it. I'll buy it from you.
If I want it back,
absolutely,
you're giving it back.
Of course.
I'm just letting you know.
That's
not a request. I'm just telling you. I will have it back.
I agree.
If not, overboard. You need to deal with the dire crocodiles.
Yeah. In the heavy armor while you're sinking.
Yeah. I hand him the sword for him to inspect and to look over.
It's a beautiful looking longsword. He makes it look lighter than it is. It's actually a fairly heavy and sturdy object overall.
And is it a longsword?
Yeah, it's a longsword.
Question: is it? Can I do an Arcana check to see if it has any magic or anything to it?
You can do whatever you want.
I'd like to do a Arcana check to see if I can feel any residual energy or magic to it.
Okay.
Is Luthok going to be a wizard again?
It's 5.
5?
Actually.
You're not really sure.
You could hit it with a spell. Magic items don't usually break.
Yeah,
you could do that.
Certainly, you could try to do that.
I give it a couple test swings just to kind of feel what weight it is and things like that. It's a normal longsword, right?
I don't know how many times I need to say it's a longsword.
Yeah.
He's trying to get
so D8 one-handed, D10 two-handed versatile weapon.
Yeah, is it a +1? Is it silver?
No, that's not what I'm going for.
Oh. That's what I thought.
It's a longsword.
No, sorry, your earlier descriptions of it confused me on the sword.
Oh, being finally
You described it as a finesse weapon. That's what confused
Made with
me.
finesse.
Made with finesse.
Oh, I thought you said it's a finesse weapon.
No.
He heard finesse.
Yeah, I heard it too.
You said you called it a finesse weapon.
Yeah, they were ignoring all your words, but then the finesse popped out, and they were like,
yeah.
A longsword with finesse?
There was just those key words like finesse, fine.
Yeah.
Mine.
No, it's a longsword. It's all fluff. It's a well-made and very well put together bladed weapon. It's probably made of fine steel. Has the Damascus style leaf inlays in the hilt and the handle. Made of a sturdy leather wrapped wood with it looks like the emblems of Bravadis on the end as a symbol. It was probably a noble's weapon. You look it over and you're like, this is an expensive longsword. It's very nice.
Way more classy than anything I have any right to be with.
It's not a crude axe. What am I doing?
And then you lightly look at it for inscriptions and in your knowledge of it, you can't tell. It doesn't look like it's a magical weapon.
I flip it over and I offer the handle back to Luthok. It's a very nice blade.
Maybe a wizard would know more.
It's a well-crafted longsword. I saw some symbols of Bravadis. A noble might have used it. I tried to look to see if it was magic in nature, but I I don't know if I noticed anything off the top. I just
My only regret is I can't say I killed anyone for it.
Well, I mean, you did help kill the troll.
You could always just say you killed someone for it.
Nah, we don't play games with our words like that.
Okay.
That's half the fun.
You're only half an orc, you know. The other half, I assume, is human. We're pretty good at lying.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not one of your finer traits.
I would disagree. Valuable.
Anyway. Yeah, thanks for the compliment. I put the sword up a little bit. Hold it close to my waist.
Keeps it tight.
Yeah.
Keeps it tight, so if somebody tries to slide a hand that puppy.
As a backup.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I
backups,
can't even use the motherfucking thing. That's why I was curious. It's like, if it's a legit longsword, I can't use it.
Like, well, sure, you can. You just need to be proficient with it.
No,
No, it's a martial weapon. You'd be proficient, right?
Yeah.
No,
As
it's
part
not.
of the sword class, that to cast spells with my sword, it has to be a finesse weapon.
yeah.
Well,
Unless,
you could still use the sword.
yeah, but
It wouldn't be
the sword.
effective, but you
it would,
Yeah.
it would
It
nerf
would be
the
a
fuck out of my
Yeah,
abilities.
hold on, let me put this
But you
down
would
while
have
I
a
cast
really
the spell.
nice sword, okay?
I would
Now,
rather
listen.
cast spells with the
You
sword.
can't even do that.
But you,
He can't
listen,
even do
this
that.
is
He
the
can't
best
even-
sword you've
he
ever
can't
seen.
even- the sword his focus has to be in his hand, or else he needs a spell component pouch,
Yeah.
which he doesn't have.
Which I don't have.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, you have to have
But he got a spell component pouch.
I don't. I
But
don't
he
need
can't.
one.
You just
If
found
he
it.
puts the sword down, he can't even cast.
In your fancy little box.
Oh, the box.
You know?
Yeah, I
That's what-
forgot
You got
about
the spell
the,
component pouch.
the,
I got.
the pouch.
It's a pouch of spell components.
I don't have any way to identify things, so it's just
Neither do I.
It's just still in its really nice box. I hope the box is worth some money, and we'll find out what it.
And you have a great sword of evilness that you still haven't looked at either.
Well, he tried swinging it and it hurt him.
Yeah,
That counts.
I can't.
So you guys
identify
are
it.
having this
Get back to
conversation,
town.
you
I'll
feel
worry
the
about it
barge
later.
get bumped by something, and it kind of rocks.
Oh shit.
And then Nicholas like looking around, he's like, shh, shh, be very quiet. And then you hear the water just swish and move, and you can kind of hear it. There's almost like this pressure in this dark shape. You look into the water, kind of moving past away from the barge, and he just sits very still. And then after a moment, he said, all right, I think we're good to move again. And he just continues going. What's that? Probably one of the many forms of dangerous wildlife that live here. I don't know. Crocodiles grow largest trees here. I don't know what else inhabits these swamps. People don't normally go out very far on a regular basis.
I don't know.
Do you want me to try and talk to them?
No, please, no. And he's like, no. He like
As I'm
drops the
peering
paddle
over
and
the
he's
water?
like, no, please. No. And he just keeps going.
well, I'm like all that unidentified, as stage whisper, but so people can hear me. So I'm like all that unidentified stuff. Here's a cloak of elven kind.
What does that do?
As I look towards
Wait,
the
do I know
elves.
what that does?
You watch what it
Yeah, of
does.
course you do. You can
Cool.
see what it does.
That is amazing. What does it do? Hide people?
Sure does.
That's handy.
Would be handy for somebody as I eye the group.
Should probably go to somebody who has heavy armor.
Well, or someone who's already good at hiding and wants to be better.
True.
He's quick.
Wait, whoa, where'd you find that?
None of us are particularly.
We found it outside of your territory.
Are you sure?
100%.
My territory is huge.
It's huge. Huge.
We definitely found it outside of where your territory was.
Well,
Luthok, sharing is caring.
you claim the top. I claim the bottom. I bought the land out from under you.
You feel like there's something wrong about that, but you don't know enough about land ownership to say that he's wrong. You're like, man, as an orc, this is really simple. I said everything is mine. You're like, but we're not in orc land, so
But we are if it's my land. But if it's not my land, it doesn't work very.
It's your top half, it's his bottom half.
You own everything of eyesight of the idol, but this was underground.
It was,
Not an eyesight of the idol.
damn it!
Next time I'm taking one of them totems in the cave. I'm gonna get it either way.
All right.
so
fine.
about another 40 minutes or so goes by, and Nicholas brings you up, and you see the fog is kind of settling and parting, and you can see there's a large landing of like dry earth and stuff that makes up what seems to be the edges of an island of sorts. And there's a large running dry dock that comes off of it and just comes far out into the water. It looks just as decrepit and like it's ready to fall apart as almost anything else that you guys have stepped on in the swamp at this point. But rising from directly in the center of the island, you can see a vast, gargantuan tree in proportion. Its ever-reaching branches and just falling, and leaves are dying on it and coming out of the fog, just up the hill from where you are.
Well, that's ominous.
Mm-hmm.
It's about as ominous as the giant.
The barge hits the dock, and he begins tying it off. And I'm only gonna wait here for a couple of hours. I need daylight to get home. If you're not back, I'm leaving without you.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking us out here.
Yes, of course. Just hurry, please.
Do you have anything
You don't want us to tarry here.
defend yourself with at all?
No, and I wouldn't be proficient with it if it were. It'd be better off in someone else's hands.
Whoa.
Well,
If there's something dangerous enough that I would need to use it, then I will probably die regardless.
Did you at least have a knife to cut that rope quick?
No, I have a hand axe right over here, and he points, and you can see it's just hanging up on the
Good
side.
enough.
All right. I reach down into my sack and I pull out a smaller, like coin purse type bag, and I walk over. Give this to her, gnome friend, if we don't make it back. And I hand it to him.
He grabs it, and he's like, "What? Just a coin bag, right?" And he's just like, "Okay,
And it's full
sure.
of coins.
All will do.
Mm.
If I even make it back to Fog Bottom. These waters in the surrounding area are dangerous. People go out and disappear all year round, and even more so in the few months leading up to this point.
I don't know. If there's anyone who's going to survive aside from me, it's probably one of you swamp people.
Either way.
Either way, be back quickly.
Let's move. We don't want to keep this man here any longer. Let's make a rush about it.
Yeah, delaying the inevitable.
So as you guys climb up onto the dock and feel the weight kind of shift underneath you and kind of in a rickety manner, you begin taking this long, probably close to maybe 100-yard dry dock or so, going inwards, and you hit dry land, and as the fog begins to part, you see that there are these posts, and this you can see like this dirt road and this path that's kind of partially paved with stone going up and up, curving upwards towards the tree, disappearing near the top section. But all along this path, you can see there are posts, and nailed to these posts are what remains of what seems like people, skin torn and flayed off of their bodies in parts, their faces twisted in complete agony and fear and terror. And as you continue walking up the path, and there's dozens of them. There's one of these posts like every 10 feet or so. All of them flayed, their bodies, their skin rotting in the sunlight, ravens and the vultures circling overhead, picking out the body parts and eating what's left of the remains. Bones and gore, intestines had been spilled out onto the ground in areas where they've been opened up for whatever nefarious means that the hag probably needed from them. And you start making your way up to the top. And as you crest this large space, this flat area on the top of the hill, and the trees looming over the top, you can see that this fog that makes up Fog Bottom is literally seeping out into the world from out of this tree. Its ancient gargantuan roots reaching out into the land, just crushing into the earth.
Just a tree, they said.
And as you pass through, there's
Cursed,
a set of stones, like a memorial, some sort of archway with these ancient runes on them that you pass under. You look at the ground, still, even up here, it's soggy and wet, and the air is damp, but there's no signs of life on top of this hill, on this island in the middle of the troll claw Myers. And looking around, you don't see anything immediately. The fog is dense and kind of just pouring out into the ground around your ankles. But then you see, up at the top near the tree, you see what looks like a humanoid woman. Haunched and stern, looking old. And leaning forward, and she's doing something. She's has this staff, and she's waving it around and pointing it. And as she's doing that, you see that the air begins to move and blow out from the tree. Its branches start swinging. And then you see flashes of what looks like people who are hanging from the tree by their necks to a noose. And they're there for a moment and they're gone. These ghostly images flashing. Mm-hmm. And then there's a crack of lightning and a bright light. And there's these waves of red energy that start circling through the air and lashing outward wildly at the surrounding trees and ground and earth, flicking it up. And this woman turns to see you all standing there, twisted, old, her nose crooked and bent, warts and deformed. One of her hands seems almost thin and just ghastly in its design, its fingernails curling up in sections. But as the energy passes forward and comes into her body, she transforms in front of you. No longer a ghastly old woman in her visage, her skin red. A beautiful humanoid woman of young age now stands before you, a wild cloak, clean cut over her body. And Grenda looks out at you. Oh, it seems as though you are too late. I have already absorbed the magics and the wild energies of the witches who were killed here. And now, it's time for you to contend with my servants, those who would get in the way of my new gained power.
Fuck.
And as she lashes out with energy and strikes the ground, it begins to crack and shift. And out of it comes lumbering up the bodies, these ghastly artistic pieces sewn together with bits of the villagers and human beings that they've been flaying to make them, come two monstrous flesh golems reaching outward, grabbing the ground and pulling themselves out of the earth. You can still see the faces of the villagers and people who've been sewn onto their bodies. Look, the faces of terror, and look, the skin different colors, and some of it sewn and stitched together and makeshift staples cracked into the body to put the pieces of it together. That one of the flesh golem's hands is literally made up of multiple people's hands and arms that make up its fingers as they individually, almost with lifelike, begin to move and look outwards towards you, reaching as they begin to lumber forward. And then out of the shadows from underneath the blight tree, a hole opens. And you watch as the undead skeletons, armed with spears and bows and swords and armor, not unlike that which adorned the wild hunt champion that you met, start coming out from underneath the blight tree. And there you see a flash of purple and a scepter as the caster that was described to you comes out with them.
Oh, jeez.
Wild-eyed, this orc, his cloak coming forward, just grunting, and he ushers the undead forward towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Lathana, protect us.
Fuck!
And we'll roll initiative next Friday.
Back to the boat! Back to the boat!
Back to the
boat! Side.
Take chip!
It's like, oh, a hack.
Yep.
Oh, no, a
Save
hack
the villagers,
and
they
gold.
said. Don't go there first, they said.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. So,
gold. Skeleton army.
Decisions.
You know.
Oh, we can't leave the tree.
It's just a tree, they said. Not cursed, they said.
Yeah.
It is a tree. It's just a tree.
Oh.
It's just the magic around the tree.
You're gonna leave me in this sense of suspense all week. And I have friends that watch this. And
Well, believe me. And well, I mean, look, it's up to all of you. We could play through the combat. We could do it. I'm just taking pity on you guys because of how late it is.
No, take pity.
I gotta drive
Take pity.
Yeah.
We need a week
I
to
mean,
strategize.
Yeah.
Do you two?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's hard to get people to watch like a 7-hour
True,
episode.
yeah.
So
We can build it up over the week. Be like, guys, want to see Team White?
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is this? Why?
See, we're
what
finally
is-
gonna get the
what
team
is
wide.
this transformation?
the
that
guest
this-
star
this
needs to
hag
get
Brenda has
needs
gone
needs a way out. Noble sacrifice, obviously.
through. Obviously.
Yeah. That's what he's
no,
gonna do.
He's like,
should-
excuse me, sir. I plan on coming back sometime.
Yeah.
We
Noble sacrifice.
But, but that being that, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. This is Legendary Action, and next week we go into combat.
Yeah, if you if you like what they're seeing, remember we're doing a giveaway, so
Yeah.
drop a follow, and at 500, we're gonna give away a collectible gift set of books. That is the starter set for 5e, which is Dungeon Master's Guide, Monster Manual, Player Handbook, Dungeon Master's Screen. We're gonna do a set of dice. We're gonna also throw in some minis out of the kindness of our hearts.
Yep.
You know, so we wanted to give it back to you guys.
Absolutely.
So make sure if you're liking what you're seeing, drop a follow, tell a friend. If you just wanted to get there so you can win it, tell your friends to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if you want to work the system that way, more power to you.
Yeah, more power to you.
We can't control what you do.
The links to all of our social medias are right down there on the at the bottom of the page. You can find them underneath the social medias tag. A few of us are on Twitter, and then we have a Facebook and Instagram. All of our past episodes are archived on YouTube under Legendary Action. So if you enjoy what you've seen, we appreciate the follow. Follow us on those platforms as well, especially in our Discord, so we can continue
all of
to
us are on it.
discuss discuss Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer 40k and all the other nerdy shit that most of us are into. But
If there's something that we're not talking about yet that you want to talk about, throw it on there.
I think we
chances
already
are one
picked
of
up a
us-
couple of follows tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We picked up a couple of follows.
And a new subscriber.
And a new subscriber.
Mhm.
But I don't have access to the list.
At the moment, it was
This is over there.
Zealot, I believe, was one of them.
Yeah, so that was one of them.
And then we had Geeky Stone.
And then there was Amanda's friend, and I don't remember what.
Yeah, Stony Geek
Stony
and
Geek, yeah.
Ziotir.
And
Zite
Energy was
Otter?
new. Energy was new.
Zite Otter.
Zite Otter.
So, yeah, we did.
But yeah, if you dropped us a follow tonight, you dropped us a subscription, we really appreciate it. We love you. And most of the time, one of the other players is on top of it because they're not doing anything else most of the time. But, and for some reason, my fucking connection to Twitch is terrible.
Yeah, mine is due too.
I actually
Everybody
just switched
keeps
to my
falling
phone,
out.
so.
Yeah, we're all having connection issues.
But yeah, we appreciate it and we love you. And welcome to Legendary Action. And we hope that you come back and watch next week and every subsequent Friday and keep in touch.
Mm-hmm. Very much
We
so.
really appreciate it.
Very much so. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
We appreciate it.
And yeah, we will see you next Friday. So hopefully your week is as legendary as ours is. So
All right.
if you hang out, we'll try to send you over to another D&D channel or another variety streamer for your viewing pleasure. But
Viewing pleasure.
till next Friday, have a good night.
Pleasure.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
See y'all.
Thanks again.
Pleasure.